What's up, everyone? It's the interview queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
Alright, this is Danhausen here, very nice, very evil. You are watching True Heel Heat. Probably should have had MJF do this, but here we are.
What's up, guys? It's Wolverine, Death Machine, Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, and you're watching True Heel Heat. Who better? Nobody.
Welcome to True Heel Heat, the place where we use insider terms because we think we know what the fuck we're talking about, even though we don't. My name's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter to bring you to the money train on AEWramble episode 182, the Omega Powers, or should be the money train. But We're here to discuss the January 22nd, 2025 edition of AEW Dynamite as only we can. And to do that, I am joined by my esteemed colleague, the man of 56,000 subscribers. You go to him for your TV and movie reviews, as well as your honest criticisms of Tony Khan and All Elite Wrestling. He is Jimmy Macram. How are you doing?
Hello, ladies and gents. How the hell are you?
I think they're fine. Oh, that was short and sweet, to the point. You're in a good mood today?
No.
No.
Sorry. Yeah, it's gonna be a rough one.
Sorry, Charlie.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna agree on much on the show. I think the first 30 minutes, that's about it.
Well, there you have it. The preview of what you got to expect from us on AEWramble, the best AEW Dynamite review in the land. We appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you guys, hear your thoughts on last night's AEW Dynamite. We try to highlight as many of the comments as we can, but of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel and AEWramble, you could do that with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We usually have a goal in mind for our goals. We hit it last week, which got us the TNA Genesis and the People versus GCW watch along that we did on Sunday. And boy, oh boy, that GCW show.
What to say? What a prize for all these. Might be nice.
No, what a rise for me. I'm the one that had to watch.
They paid money for you to watch this shit. Poor bastards.
They pay money to watch me be tortured.
I apologize on behalf of the channel.
Be tortured. They want to see me get tortured. And then we hit our goal on Rated Raw review, because I'm going tomorrow for the members of the channel, because the members of the channel were responsible for us hitting the goal. For the members of the channel, I'll be doing a breakdown of SRS versus Air Gold and what went down on wrestling Twitter on Monday.
I know I like Tap for a reason, and that is because he's a man after my own heart. Any rational person who would have tuned in when I tuned in would have thought, number one, whoever the soft-spoken guy is an idiot, but the other guy is wilding out. Like there's no doubt about that. Air Gold, is that his name?
Yeah. Well, he changed his name. He had to change his name apparently. It's now Air It All. Air It All.
Air It All is clearly. First of all, anytime somebody says, "Explain yourself," your response is, "Listen." Whatever you're about to say after that. Bullshit.
Well. I'm gonna say the goal for this week. I don't know what's your schedule like tomorrow, but I was gonna say I'll work around your schedule, and I want you to be my guest on our breakdown and talk about it. So you can talk about when you got in and what you heard about it, and I'm gonna break it all down because I feel somewhat involved in it, but not involved. I'm glad I don't have a blue check because I'm not involved in it, so that's good.
Yeah, this is very weird. I gotta be honest.
So that's the goal for today. If we hit our goal of 10 super chats for today, we will have Jimmy, whatever your schedule is like, just let me know, and I will have you on for our breakdown of the Twitter war that made someone he's in Twitter witness protection. He had to change his name. He doesn't have a blue check anymore, and he's a parody account now. And he lost 600 followers.
That part. That's kind of, well, he deserves it. Fair enough. Yeah. This is wild. Twitter beef.
Crazy. But yes, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. If you haven't already, drop the thumbs up. We got a lot to talk about for this episode of AEW Dynamite. We got Eric Isaac in the chat who says, "What's up?" I guess TH fam, Ospreay and Omega joins forces. Jamie gets even with Julia. Death Riders lay waste to Cope and Jay Wright. And the Hurt Business are new AEW Tag Team Champions.
That almost sounds like a passable show. But I watched it, so you're not gonna fool me. Sorry.
I thought it was a good show, but we're in difference of opinion. G-Lo says, "What it do at True Hill Heat? Maine, smash up that like and let's go, man. So much to talk about with this best-selling episode." Then we got LaRon Ford in the chat with us who says, "I wonder how many times SP3 will have to play the disclaimer because of something Jimmy says today. I'm going to set the number at 3. You've been really good with it as of late, to be honest.
Yeah, I haven't found these shows egregious recently. Been on a bit of a streak here of non-awful shows. This was also a non-awful show. But I realized why I didn't like Raw. It took me a while. I figured it out. I didn't like Raw. It's the same reason I didn't like the show. Because if you skip this episode, you're only missing like 2 things. That's it. You missed 2 things. You're missing new tag champs, and Omega and Ospreay are together now. That's it. Everything else, it's exactly the fucking same.
That's fair. Hey, I would never have missed the best improv song ever performed on wrestling television. We also got here in the chat, Power Driver Finisher. He says, "I swear, Shivani, like there isn't an episode you don't fucking fumble."
Jesus. I hate for Shivani. I'll match his mine, I will admit.
I found it a very, very, very humorous.
If he got fired tomorrow, it'd be a net improvement for the world and certain for Dynamite. But you know what? Never mind. I'm on your side. He's awful. Good Lord. Please shut the fuck up. Stop speaking.
We got Fire Driver Finisher who also says, "God damn, Harley is so damn entertaining."
Very true.
That's true. We got Alexander Fitzgerald who says, "Can we just take a moment to appreciate the venue last night? It looked great on TV. I'm really enjoying them going to these different arenas. It is aesthetically, it's a nice change of pace where all the Dynamite sets pretty much were looking the same for like years."
Well, that's true. I will say it did look good. It looked small, like objectively so, but it looked good.
We also got Alexander who says, "PCO going into business for himself. Pro wrestling is real." There was a lot of drama in TNA this week.
If a tree falls,
did you hear about the PCO stuff?
No. Is that him who snatched the title?
Yeah, PCO showed up at a GCW event on the same night as TNA Genesis. He was in the pre-show like Rumble they did, and then post-match he had the TNA Digital Media Championship because he's still the champion, and he took the title and he smashed it with a sledgehammer and then started shooting on TNA, saying, "I sold out the biggest show in TNA history. I sold out on my merch. They wouldn't even make me no merch. They wouldn't offer me." And then he got cut off by the ring announcer, MLJ, our boy MLJ.
And my question to you would be, where would PCO, like if you had to compare him to like a WWE guy, where would he be on like the totem pole? Is he like a J, LA Knight, less than that?
On TNA totem pole?
Yeah.
I couldn't compare him anything like currently. I would say he would be like if Bray Wyatt was alive. If Bray Wyatt was still in WWE and he was in this current WWE, that would probably be what PCO is to TNA.
He's kind of fish out of water.
Yeah, he has to have very unique, out of over the top kind of stories because he's the fucking Frankenstein. That's his character.
Gotcha. Well, listen, I'm all for a interesting angle. I don't know if I buy. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't buy this to shoot. If it is, fuck it. It's a digital media championship. It's TNA. Just pay them the $12 you owe them for the belt, and you'll be fine. Who cares?
It was not even the real belt. It was the replica. That's what
I'm saying. What are we doing? Come on, man.
Exactly. We're fine.
I don't buy it.
We're fine. But he apparently was supposed to finish up with the company at today's live show that they're doing for Impact in San Antonio. And now he's been pulled. And he's done with the company.
Ready for my prediction? He re-signed. And this is an angle. My prediction. I'm calling it.
Okay. All right. He re-signed. It's all an angle. It's all an angle that they're pushing. I mean, I wouldn't put it past TNA. That would be very TNA. And then the other thing, one of the biggest notes from TNA Genesis, despite the fact that Joe Hendry, won the TNA World Championship finally, dude, it was just like, exactly. It was like, you missed it. You missed. You can't do it now. You missed.
People think shit lasts forever.
It's not the same. It's not the biggest show of the year. It's not the biggest show of the year. All the momentum he had coming off of the NXT run. And you just blew it.
Shoot himself in the foot in all different kinds of ways. It's kind of impressive.
Over the last 25 years that they've been.
Yeah, it's like at all levels. They don't just go big. They go big, they go medium, they go small. Like they could do Hogan Bischoff, they could do Tessa Blanchard, they could do fucking Joe Hendry. It doesn't matter. I'm just all over the map. The 3-level score, the fucking Kevin Durant.
Despite that happening, they also had the final TNA matchup of Jordan Grace and Josh Alexander. Beside all of that, one of the biggest notes that everybody was talking about coming out of that show was Tessa Blanchard getting your racist chance.
I saw. All right. That's what she should have said. Yeah, and what is your point?
I'm a heel. It don't matter. I'll take that heat.
Yeah, if she's not gonna fucking get a break when she wrestling Jordan Grace, then this is probably not gonna turn out great for the rest of her run here. Oh well.
That match was fantastic, I will say.
Yeah, I saw you say that. Of course, he's gonna add the fucking disclaimer afterwards. She's still a racist piece of shit. All right, we got it. Enough. But you these fucking fans, we get it. Get to the match. How was it?
No, I had to add that because literally 2 minutes after I had that, someone retweeted me, was like, "Does not matter how good the match was. She's still you. It's not about her." So I was like, I'm just gonna hedge my bet here. I'm gonna add the second thread. So if anybody did this, so immediately when he retweeted that and said that, I was like, "Oh, you must have missed this."
What are we doing? Oh my god.
We got Hard Driver Finisher, who's actually, did Jimmy talk the Jada thing last week? Did we talk about it? I think we did.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
Team J, obviously. Hope it works out for Jada. Please stop speaking about anything ever. It doesn't affect you. So let's say she's a political scientist, right? And she's a doctor. Let's say both. And somehow she wrestles still. I don't know where she finds the time, but she does all this. And she's commenting about that NCAA ban on transgender athletes. And she's like, well, this is a good idea because, as you know, male-born athletes have certain advantages. But then somebody responded and was like, actually, it's not true. With certain therapies and hormone. Then she responded, well, no. What do you think people outside would say? They say, oh, well thought out argument between you two. Or would they say, shut the fuck up, you transphobe? Which would happen? The latter, great. So shut the fuck up about everything ever. There's no need to speak on anything. And you're not a political scientist. Please shut the fuck up. Love you. You're going to be a star. You look fantastic. Just shut the fuck up. I'm here to help.
We got Frantic World that says people behind the scenes are saying that WWE is going to buy TNA. You guys gotta not put comments and tweets like this. This got somebody in trouble this week. But it was Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio who said that people backstage in TNA is saying that they believe WWE will buy TNA, and it's just like, I guess me and Jimmy are behind the scenes because we literally said this before they signed the partnership.
When? First of all, how would people in TNA know? Number one, I think Nick Connor's having conversations with people in TNA. You know,
I guess or people in TNA are like skeptics like us who just immediately are just like,
yeah. I mean, here's the question: why would you spend, I don't know, $15 to buy TNA when you are currently getting everything you need from them for free? It's like marrying some chick that you fucking. Ibanez. You get the point. Why would I? For what? There's no need to do that. No disrespect.
I'm done with you. I already know where that was going. Will Chisholm says, so PCO claims he turned down AEW 3 times. LOL. I don't believe that. I don't think anyone.
Damn. Is he any good? Or is Bray Wyatt your description? Like, you stick with that description?
He could be in some fun plunder brawls, but he's very limited. He's like in his mid 50s, late 50s.
That's right up AEW's alley. What are you talking about?
Hey, apparently so. I mean, but it wasn't 3 years ago where he's saying that he's been turning them down since. Frantic World also says PCO was supposed to have a match with Kenny Omega years ago. If you believe him, yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so this guy is a worker. Fair enough.
Yes, he's a worker. He's been around since the 80s, to be fair.
Old school. I'm with you.
Yeah. Big Man Dawes says, I feel like it has to be a work because WWE ID talent were there. Garbage championship wrestling has already burnt bridges with Tony. They can't do it with Paul, too.
That's a fair point.
That is fair. We also got Alex Powell who says that GCW show getting crapped on is hilarious. I mean, they literally promoted the show because they said that people believe their last show was the worst show, the worst independent show of all time. That's how they promoted this show. That this was supposed to be their redemption. That the people versus GCW. GCW is guilty, and they're going back to the Hammerstein, and they're gonna outdo what they did last time. And they did business-wise. They sold out the joint. They had over 1,700 in the Hammerstein ballroom. Great crowd in attendance, but unfortunately, it was really derailed by an injury. That's like the big point that really derailed it. But they had the opportunity to get the show back. They had a good run of matches in the middle portion. Garbage Daddies winning the tag team titles. Sidney Akeem and Vikingo. That was some good stuff there. And then they had the Matt Cardona freaking matchup in the semi-main event spot, which was just it felt like a troll job to the GCW fans, more than it was any type of angle. It felt like they were trolling them because it was already midnight in New York, which we know from most sporting events, all New York sporting events are supposed to end at 12 midnight, but they got an extension due to Alley Cat breaking her leg or breaking her ankle or whatever it was. She had the Sid Vicious type shit. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, if they got an extension of getting an extra half an hour, but it really didn't feel like they really used the extra half an hour well.
Not knowing that. First of all, has he ever been any good? Or are you guys just over it now?
What?
Cardona.
Cardona was not the problem here. This was his last match before I guess he's finishing up with GCW, is what the reports of. It had nothing to do with him. It just felt like it was either an angle to troll the GCW fans or they were trolling Cardona since this was his write-off.
Jesus. All right.
They did a whole build-up of a mystery opponent. The mystery opponent gets this big entrance, and it's some guy that barely got no reaction because nobody knew who he was. He comes out, he gets beat in like a couple of seconds. Then they do the big, I'm not done wrestling. I want to wrestle somebody else. The big intro, and it's Macram. It's a midget wrestler. And they fight for like 2-3 minutes. He beats him. And then he goes, I want to fight someone else. And the music of his secondary, his like protege, Broski Jimmy hits, and he's behind him. He turns around. They have like a 2-3 minute match, and he wins. Broski Jimmy. And that's how they write off Cardona.
Jesus fucking Christ.
But all the matches itself were like maybe like 3-4 minutes, but just the angle just felt like it went forever.
Well, sometimes they don't really know what they're doing. I ain't gonna hold you. Which is weird because they had a lot of momentum a year and a half ago. I forget.
Like 2-3 years ago, before the
whenever
Moxley
Moxley was showing up.
Show. Yeah, before the first Hammerstein show was when they had momentum, and then that kind of killed their momentum. The Hammerstein show, the first one, and then they had some more momentum again here, going back to the Hammerstein. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they're going to different places, so GCW is still going to be the #1 independent promotion, but you know. We got King Potato. He says no one cares about Joe Hendry anymore. I wouldn't say all of that. It's just we don't care as much, which is almost as worse. Ace says he should have won it at Bound for Glory last year. I mean, we've been saying that for months.
Yeah. I remember the world was shocked. Huh? Why? Okay. What a terrible idea.
It's like the freaking, what is it? I think it's Cardi B. That's strange. That's weird. We got Ravishing One. He says, why would anyone want someone like Joe Hendry? And I'm happy for him, but just don't like him. I love that. I'm happy for him, but I just don't like him.
I don't know, why would anyone want someone like him? That's crazy. But damn. He's popular. He's entertaining. Well, at the time. I'm talking about like how many years ago? How many months ago? Popular is entertaining. He got the NXT run in which the crowd went nuts. And they don't go nuts for anything. Those cocksuckers. Yeah, it's just, even if he's a fad, now. Do it now. What are you waiting for?
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta strike while the iron is hot. Like that's AEW. They missed the boat on like so many different acts, like Outrunners. We saw what they did with Private Party. They missed on Private Party and then tried to get it back on Private Party, and we saw how that turned out. And this honestly feels like it's gonna be something similar. He'll get a couple of main events, but I don't think he's gonna hold it past like Rebellion in April.
Damn. Do we have a replacement?
I think Mike Santana is going to be the guy for them.
Oh, that could work.
Yeah. I suggest you go and watch some of his stuff in TNA. He feels like a totally different guy that's wrestling compared to what he was in AEW.
I mean, to be fair, we already said he felt like a star.
He did, but he's gotten his body right. He put on the muscle mass. He's just wrestling with a different type of like speed and intensity to him. He's working more like a heavyweight, like a main event guy.
Body right, muscle mass, speed and intensity. I got it. Hanging out with Jordan Grace. I'm with you. Absolutely.
You're not gonna do that to me, Skip. You're not gonna do that
to me.
The
opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
I'm with you. I'm team this guy. You know this.
Yeah, we've been saying this for weeks now. Jimmy was ahead of his time. He said 3 weeks after Wrestle Dream, he was less like, I think this might be done. I think this might be open. I feel like this has really been dire since Full Gear.
Yeah.
It's been since Full Gear. It still had a little bit. It like limped into Full Gear, but it still had some life. And Full Gear was a great match with him and Orange Cassidy and Mox, and the post match angle setting up the 4-way. And it was like, okay, we're interested. Darby's still involved here. All right, that's fine. But it's just been dead ever since Full Gear.
You should lose the plot. And more importantly, you don't just lose it, you downgrade the plot from we're taking over the company to I'm not entirely sure what they're doing anymore, to be honest. They're just heels who want to keep the belt on Moxley, I suppose. It's over. By the way, I think the reason for this, and I understand it, because I heard JR talk about this how many years ago. I read his book where Austin told him he was turning heel. And JR said that is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. And then he told Vince the same thing. Please don't do this. This is impossibly stupid. And Vince said, after all he's done, if he wants to do this, we owe him. That's Moxley. After all Moxley's done for you all, and he saved you bums time and time again, if he wants to do this awful fucking shit, we're just gonna let him run. Go ahead, do this awful shit. And good lord.
But we the fans are the ones suffering here.
Fair enough.
We're the ones suffering here, guys. Like, well, that's the issue. Joe Pearl in the chat, who joined us for our TNA Genesis at the People versus GCW watch along. He says mystery opponent should have been PCO. It should have been. For all of that, it should have been just PCO as the mystery opponent for Matt Cardona.
That could have been fun.
Alexander says Cardona going from indie god to WWE ID god.
I don't see it. They refuse to answer his phone calls, and he lets everybody know it. Please shut up. I should have been signed by AEW. I should have been back in WWE. What do you want me to do, sir? Just fucking whining to Chris Van Vliet. Leave me alone. Lord. They don't view you that way. I'm sorry.
No, they don't fuck with you like that. Like, that's not our issue. They don't fuck with you like that, man. We also got Will Chisholm, who says, Jimmy, what do you think about Punk's promo about Hogan? He wanted to say racist.
He certainly did, and I appreciate his intensity. Fantastic promo. Always love shitting on Hulk Hogan in general, and loves a great promo otherwise. But much like Rhea and Nia Jax, which was great, that brawl they had. And Panthers match was really good. However, if you skipped them, did you miss anything? Would you be confused next week? What the fuck, huh? Punk's in the Rumble? You knew that already. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, there was nothing that you could say like, oh, that's something that you're gonna remember for like a few weeks. It was just a good episode of wrestling television in a vacuum.
Yes, in a vacuum. Like everything that of any importance that happened was with Sammy. Sammy and KO, and Sammy hit Seth by accident. That's it. Everything else you knew already. And you knew a while ago.
I said on the Raw review this week, I was like, last week's Monday Night Raw had better content. This week had better pacing. I was like, we're still waiting for the show that he can put it both together, which I hope is next week in Atlanta.
I don't know.
You got Roman, you got Goldberg probably.
Roman's going to be there?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down.
The Tribal Chief acknowledgement ceremony is in Atlanta.
Good Lord.
And Cody will be there.
Oh, good Lord. New Mania card. Ready? Changing it up. This is a bold card. They're going to hold you. Because I can see a whole bunch of matches not happening. We're doing KO. What is wrong with this cocksucker? Anyway.
Wait, what?
I'm doing Roman and Drew. I'm doing Punk and Cena. What's the other one? Cody and Orton, and KO and Sammy. That's my call.
So you said KO and Sammy.
Right.
Roman and who?
Drew.
Roman and Drew. And then
No,
Punk
right?
and who?
Cena. I think Punk's angling for this fucking match. He gets this like cheeky little smile on his face when he talks about John Cena.
I think they're gonna face each other at SummerSlam in New York.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what we've heard in the reports is true. Literally, we go through this every year around WrestleMania season. Meltzer or Sean reports a couple of matches that has been discussed. We try to say, nah, that's not good, and try to book our own shit, and then it winds up being those matches that they reported months later. It's just like it always. I'm not gonna fight against the cycle. Unfortunately, we're probably gonna get John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, but I'm very much interested in how we get to Roman and Punk. Roman and Punk is the real main event for me. That's the match I'm most interested in at WrestleMania.
Certainly. I don't know. This Drew thing's not dying. He hasn't pivoted to anything else. Even a little bit. He's been on the fucking Bloodline's head.
It's true. It's true. We got a super chat donation here from Alexander Fitzgerald. Thank you so much, Alexander, for the support. As always, we're going to give you the mic so you can
speak, bitch. Come on now. Oh my God, Siobhan. What the hell is wrong with you?
Fucking Southern accent came out. It's hilarious. Come on.
We got Alexander Fitzgerald. He says the Hurt Business is booked stronger and more entertaining than the Death Riders. We hurt people. I mean, they were like the fucking Road Warriors in that match.
So dope. So dope. Not my favorite use
That
of
was one of the best laid out matches that I've seen Private Party in. They got they used their speed in the early going, had them on the back foot, then they stopped them short, then they just beat the hell out of them, had their little comeback, and then beat the hell out of them.
And it was just over. Oh, okay. Sure. That's how that should go. Yes, please.
That was perfect. They just have the cool factor that Moxley and the Death Riders don't have.
Which is wild. It's not like these are fucking. It's not like it's The Rock and Austin here as far as mic work and charisma goes. No disrespect to Lashley and Shelton. They just look like stars. They just do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the craziest part is that Moxley, there was a cool factor with the Blackpool Combat Club. Despite our issues with them, they still had that cool factor. And then by changing this and doing all of this through this one angle, all of their cool factor, all of their everything that made them attracting and appealing to a fan is just gone.
Shocking. It's shocking. Oh, well.
We got also Chilling with Chase with a super chat donation for us. Thank you so much, Chilling with Chase, for your support as always. He also joined us on the People vs. GCW and TNA Genesis watch along. So we're gonna tell everybody to please
listen up, you prick.
Chase says, before we get to the review, did you guys see the video where Ibu talked about a backstage fight between CM Punk and MJF? Would love to hear your reactions on it. Cheers. No, I did not see that.
I did not either. That sounds fucking awesome. Because I'm Team Kenny Omega on this. Sometimes motherfuckers just got scrapped. And he didn't say it like that. He was much professional. But you get the general point. Sometimes you guys, it's men. Let them fight, and they'll be fine afterwards. We're going to get another Punk and MJF match, apparently, after this fight. Yes, please.
Yeah,
please and thank you.
Like, I'm all here for that.
MJF continues to be everything I think he is. Go ahead, sir. I love you, sir.
Never change, right? Never change.
That motherfucker get in my fucking face with my fucking Jack Perry? Absolutely not. We going right now. I know what that means.
He was like, I was ready to scrap with Britt Baker. Like, what do you think? I'm scared to see how
Oy. Oh, yeah. Poor Britt.
All right, Chase just sent it to me, so I'm gonna look at this. Yeah, let's see. Wait, let me see if I can pull it up here. We could see if we could play it on screen here. This would be interesting. So now I'm interested. You sent a super chat donation. We might as well give you our reaction, right? Right?
Sure.
Let's see here.
Are these gonna have the other two guys fucking chomping in and blabbling as Ibu tries to get through a fucking story? No offense. Sorry, I'm joking.
No, you're not. I wish you were, but no, you're not.
God damn it, let him talk.
Let him talk, God damn it, let him talk. All right, I got it on here in the back end. I'll share the screen here. Let's see. We got on the Twitter machine. This tweet that Chase sent us is from the voice of the Marks. Voice of the Marks. Let me know if
go up. This asshole. Backup Hangman was calling his Discord that he makes people pay $5 to hear information he gets from AEW outsiders. Jesus. I'm pretty sure this guy blocked. God damn it!
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna play it. I'm not gonna play the audio because that if that's on his private Discord, then it shouldn't be sharing. I will give you the link in the back end so we could watch it. You could watch it off of the screen here. We could both watch it and give our reaction as we go on here. But we'll start our review now.
You don't want Sap popping up in the chat.
Thank you for stopping.
Fucking idiot! You're fucking stupid.
Thank you for stopping me there.
You're an idiot. You're really dumb. You're really dumb. You're one of the dumbest people ever. Sean, can you shut the fuck up? Jesus, all right. Guy's right. Something's out of his mind. I'm here for it.
I love it. But yes, what we got here? We got also in the chat another super chat donation from Alexander Fitzgerald. Thank you so much, Alexander, for the support.
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
Alexander says, what? No, is this the last one that I showed here? No, this Chuck Berry's one is the one I gotta show. Chuck Berry's with a super chat donation. He says, how soon do you think we get Hurt Syndicate versus Hounds of Hell for the straps? I hope for Grand Slam. High hope for Grand Slam. I don't know. That feels like too soon to do that matchup, even though I know why you would want it at Grand Slam, because Buddy being from Australia. I'd rather them have a match where Buddy can win. And it's too soon for Hurt Syndicate to drop the titles. So I'd rather them face like a top tag team or a couple of top tag, doing like a number one contenders match there. The winner faces Hurt Syndicate at Revolution. You could do something like that.
Sure, but I don't need them to have a match that they can win. Nobody's beating this team in my booking for a year, maybe. It's gonna be a while. Sorry, it's gonna be agreed. It's gonna be disgusted. You know, the Death Riders were black. Like, holy shit, this is ridiculous. It's gonna beat everybody. Yes.
It's like if the Death Riders were black.
They just gonna beat everybody. Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Oh. We also got the King Ellie show with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, King Ellie. We appreciate you.
Tony Khan, this is also on you, because you can stop this.
King Ellie show says, I think we get Cena versus Gunther. Roman wins Rumble. Punk uses his favor to make triple threat versus Cody. What do you think? I don't think you're getting the triple threat of Cody, CM Punk, and Roman. I think that WWE is trying to figure out ways to kind of finagle not doing a third year of Roman versus Cody in any which way. And the only way they were going to do the triple threat is with The Rock, not Punk. If Punk's going to get a WrestleMania main event, it's just straight up with Roman Reigns.
It should be fine.
Yeah.
Especially with a bag of tricks.
Yeah. Fine. I think if you do Cena versus Gunther, then Cody's gonna face Randy Orton.
I much prefer that than Cody and Cena. I just have no interest in Cody and Cena, even a little bit. I'm sorry.
Same.
The faces of the organization. So what? Lord.
Oh, we got some news from this is from Russell Votes. Russell Votes reports, we're told significant discussions have taken place regarding a Nikki Bella return to action, with the strong expectation from multiple WWE sources that it will happen sooner rather than later.
Good Lord.
You can look, but you can't touch.
Oh, good fucking Christ. It's John Cena. This is guilt. This is guilt calling him. Are we getting rid of her?
No, probably WWE being like, come back home. Just come back home.
Why?
We saw Brie at All In. We don't want you out there.
Nikki was just fucking on TV. As soon as she popped up on that Netflix thing, she started gyrating and shaking. He was like, Jesus fucking Christ. All right, we got it. She's a lot. I'm sorry.
Russell Votes had another report saying that WWE is moving away from Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tagaloa being referred to as the Bloodline on TV now that Roman Reigns is once again the Tribal Chief.
Probably a good idea. It's a good idea. I wouldn't think it was a good idea before you said it. You know what? That makes sense.
Yeah. I didn't notice that on SmackDown last week. SmackDown last week, they were very specific in calling them Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. Never referred to them as the Bloodline.
That's a very fair point. Jacob Fatu, by the way, give that motherfucking microphone.
He needs to be a main eventer by the end of this year.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the Mania match, him and Solo. I can see Jacob not being impressed by Solo acting like a bitch now. Like, yo, the fuck? Yeah. I loved you, Solo. The fuck? I don't know. Jacob's great. I don't know what I want from him, but I want a lot.
I want him to be WWE champion. I'm willing to go that far. But thank you so much for the super chat donations. Keep them coming as we're going to talk more about the world of wrestling. We're going to talk more about AEW Dynamite. We do want to get into the show before we get into any other news. Last night, we are going to get into that. Last night's AEW Dynamite took place from Knoxville, Tennessee. What did you think about the crowd last night and the arena in Knoxville?
Crowd was good for everything that they could be good for. Just opening segment, Hurt Business. Hey, good shit. Then you decide to, and Swerve, I suppose.
We love it. We love it here.
Yeah.
Tony Schiavone says it's an honor to be in the ring with two all-time greats, and he introduces Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay for our opening segment. These two men going face to face after doing battle with the Don Callis family over the last couple of weeks. Tony Schiavone gives the floor to Will Ospreay, who said that he's thankful that Kenny Omega is here and that he's not dead. That got a chuckle out of me. They're used to throwing fists at each other, and he doesn't remember the last time that he's ever been in the ring and they're not been throwing fists at one another. But he's no longer with the Don Callis family, and said that Kenny Omega came back at a really, really bad time. Jon Moxley has the AEW World title, and that's something that he wants to get to, but he can't shake the Don Callis family. He can't do it on his own. Omega takes the mic before he can continue, and he tells Ospreay to stop. Ospreay didn't remember the last time they faced each other in a ring, but let me remind you, it was Forbidden Door 2023, where Ospreay nearly broke his neck and stabbed him in the head with a screwdriver, the same screwdriver that Don Callis used on him months before. Omega said that what makes him better than Callis, it's because Ospreay was trying to prove he was the best and better than Omega, something that he doesn't believe then and he doesn't believe it now. It took diverticulitis for Kenny Omega to be out for a year for people to even realize who Will Ospreay was. But now that number one is back, Ospreay can go back to being number two, as he will never trust or help someone like Will Ospreay.
Jesus fucking Christ! You're about to sound like a fucking idiot.
Things get intense between the two men as Ospreay got into Omega's face. Then Don Callis music hits. He walks out on the stage. Callis called them both prima donnas before Omega bolted up the ramp and went to attack Callis. I love that it's on site every single time. He immediately got attacked by Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. Once Ospreay saw Fletcher, he was like debating helping initially, but eventually he goes out. He starts fighting Fletcher on the floor. He tried a snap Hurricane Rana. Fletcher caught him, but Ospreay turned that into a handspring corkscrew kick. Takeshita attacked Ospreay from behind, but he gets dropped with a Snapdragon by Omega. Omega gets the crowd going. He's looking for the Terminator drive when Fletcher catches him with a thrust kick. Fletcher boots Ospreay over the barricade into the fans as Fletcher leaped off a chair onto Ospreay. Callis waved in the murder machines when Brian Cage and Lance Archer came to attack Omega and Ospreay. It was too many numbers from Omega and Ospreay. Archer hit a low blow on Ospreay, clubbered him into the stands. They brawled into the merchandise area where Archer slid Ospreay down the table, destroying the merch setup, wanting a choke slam. But Omega had fought off Brian Cage and Takeshita. He eventually tries to help Ospreay fighting Archer. Archer tries a double choke slam on both men, but they eventually work together to do a double suplex into a table at the merch stand. Cage chucked a good trash can at Omega, so it's still 3-on-2. Fletcher and Cage beating on Ospreay. Takeshita was brawling with Omega back into the arena. Takeshita wanted a brainbuster on the concrete, but the security broke things up long enough for Omega to avoid it. Ospreay fought off Fletcher and Cage as he was popped up by Fletcher, but grabbed onto the barricade railing and pulled himself up. Meanwhile, Omega was climbing a lighting rig, and he hits a big moonsault off the lighting rig onto Takeshita and some security. Meanwhile, Ospreay does a moonsault off the stands onto a pile of Fletcher, Brian Cage, and some security members as well. We get Omega and Ospreay taking out the field. You get Ospreay extending his hand to Omega to help him up, and Omega gets up. The two men are standing tall. They both climb the lighting rig and stare down with the Don Callis family, who are now on the stage. Omega gets on the mic and he says to Ospreay, it should have been him that apologizes. He should have just from the start. He says that when it comes to the Don Callis family, they have to work together. So how about they do Grand Slam? It's Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega versus Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita of the Don Callis family. Omega's music hits and he tells them to cut it. He says that he didn't do his go home line, and he tells everyone to goodbye, wah, and good night, bang. It is made official, and Omega also mentions he's afraid of heights. We get Fletcher giving a very long stare down to end this pretty chaotic and awesome opening segment to the show. The crowd was electric for this one. This had the vibes of the old Daily Place brawls and street fights that they used to do in 2020 that used to get that crowd going in Daily Place in Jacksonville. Omega and Ospreay just felt like two superheroes coming together. Love the promo exchange with Omega's response to what Ospreay said, even though what he would say in the end did go back on that, to be fair. But just the overall segment was just absolutely fantastic. It is made official. Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega will team to versus the Don Callis families, Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, February 15th from Brisbane, Australia at Grand Slam, Australia. And it also was made official later in the show that Will Ospreay will go one-on-one with the Don Callis families, Brian Cage. What did you think about the opening segment to this show and the match being made official for Grand Slam? Takeshita and Fletcher versus Omega and Ospreay. Shout out to Rick Ucchino who messaged me. He says that if he was this was like the wrestling version of Batman versus Superman when they both realized that their mom's names was Martha. That was the best analogy to describe this segment.
Yes, the most shat on movie moment in recent memory. This is one good segment and one fantastic segment that do not go together at all, even a little bit. I loved Omega and Ospreay in the beginning. I love that heat between each other. Like you said, Kenny felt very Romanish. It did feel kind of Roman and Seth to me. He's definitely a little brawling him. I thought it was fantastic. And he says he will never team up, he'll never forget him. What the fuck, sir? You can't do that and then be jumping off shit together 3 minutes later. We can't be doing that and me take you seriously. We read this shit on Stephanie to this shit and even do it. He turned back. I'm sorry. This thing's not good. If that shit wasn't the coolest thing you ever saw, we'd all be acknowledging the ridiculousness of Kenny Omega's morals, non-existent morals.
The flippant. It's just very flippant. Yes.
Good Lord.
Big Man Does says it took 3 minutes of this distrust story arc.
I swear to God, everything I want Tony Khan to pick up Triple H, he doesn't. But everything he does, I fucking hate. Which is, I'm just gonna blow my load on SummerSlam and then do nothing for the next month and a half. What the fuck? Why are we blow? This is 3 weeks worth of shit here. He's like,
it is 3 weeks worth of shit in one segment.
Done. And we still have mad time to go before this tag match. I don't even know what we're gonna do for this shit. Kenny accidentally hits Ospreay. Now Ospreay doesn't trust him. Shut up. Boo.
I figure they do this if they're doing Ospreay versus Cage next week. Maybe Atlanta, you do Murder Machines versus Ospreay and Omega, so we get the first time of them teaming with each other on Dynamite, because that will pop a rating, especially if it opens the show.
What? No, we're not giving any credit for opening the show ever. We know that that's inflated stats.
Inflated stats, inflated metrics. Shout out to NXT. They did 812,000 viewers for this week's show.
They fucking did. Highest rated segment was Bailey and them. The angle in the ring. Obviously. What else would it be? No disrespect to fucking. I'll be nice to the. Yeah, this is fine. This was fun. I'll say that. This was really, really fun. Sorry, Frantic World, you're in no position to say anything on anything. No disrespect. I'm sorry. You can't be talking shit. You got the Death Riders running around. This was very much like straight out of a Dragon Ball Z episode.
Knowing Kenny Omega, he probably saw a Dragon Ball Z episode, was like, let's book this segment.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was very, very fun. I thought this was AEW. It felt like AEW again for a little bit. I didn't need him to say restore the feeling. Let's not do that. And Annika says Omega was being a little prick, saying he had to be diseased for Ospreay to be number one. That was quite a line.
It's crazy. This is insane. They did drop some bars earlier. Hey, congrats on being alive.
He said, I'm glad you're not dead. Not congrats on being alive. Congrats on being alive is nice. I'm glad you're not dead.
What a way to get us started. All right. I wonder what Kenny's gonna say now.
You know what was the best part of the promo? Will acknowledging the Death Riders. I was just like, yo, how many weeks have we gone with us being like, why doesn't anyone else care about this? Like, why doesn't anyone, like at least Will say like, I just need to get rid of my ex before I can deal with this new problem. I just gotta get rid of them. I gotta deal with them. So I need your help.
Yeah. All right, I'll be nice to Ospreay. We'll say he's trying to get this over. That sounds like an excuse to me. Sounds like an excuse to me. Because I've seen Ospreay do 3 different shit in one show. So that sounds like an excuse to me. He don't want to smoke with Moxley now. All right, whatever. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, to be fair, when he did try to handle too much stuff, he did fuck around and find out. To be fair, he lost everything. He was international champion, going for the AEW world title, turn around 3 weeks later, loses the international title.
We'll see.
Maybe and maybe that's something that he can also acknowledge as a character. Be like, the reason why I have to get rid of the Don Callis, I can't handle more than one thing at once. I already fucked up the last time I did that.
Okay, did you say that's because you're a bitch? But I'm here now. I'll take care of you. So I'm gonna save you, like the helpless bitch you are.
Like the helpless bitch you are. King Potato says this was some anime shit. They started as arch rivals, and by the end of the segment, they were BFFs. It's like we just jumped off of high things together. This is cool.
I like this shitty anime. What anime y'all be watching where this ever happens? What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Oh, we also got here in the chat. Let me see. I thought we had a super chat. No. Frantic World says this was great. Can't wait to see Kenny and Will team up at Grand Slam Australia. We also got Annika who says I need a fan to post Lance Archer throwing Ospreay down the steps. Yo, the fact that we missed that, I was so mad. The camera work was shoddy. during the segment. I will say.
It was ass. Let's say Archer did feel like a badass for like the first 5 minutes of this. I was like, holy shit! Then he got beat.
The fact that it took 2 of them to take him out, to be fair,
that was cool. Yeah. You know what? Sold. Yeah, because we say he's the X Factor. Because once he was done, the niggas took over.
Exactly. Right. And this is another thing that this made Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay feel like the 2 biggest baby faces because they were outnumbered and still won.
Absolutely.
Whereas we would see in the main event that other baby faces can't handle being outnumbered.
Man is 70 years old.
Just saying. There's a lot of 7-year-olds on the show. We got Big Man Does, who says it did feel very AEWS when they concluded what could have been months of storylines in 3 minutes.
I can't get a middle ground. I can't get like a month. I either get 3 minutes or I get Chad Gable talking to Alpha Academy for a fucking month and a half. Lord, speed this shit up.
Big Man Dolly says, Kenny saying restore the feeling is like when Trick Williams cuts a Soul of NXT promo. He gets away with it because he's over. Yeah.
Lord, I have no interest in it at all. To it.
We got an excellent video package going over the history of Pac in AEW, all of his title wins, kind of building him up ahead of the big showdown with Cope later on in the show. That was a nice bit of business right there. Then we get a promo from Jon Moxley, Marina Shafir, and Wheeler Yuta. The bangs on Wheeler Yuta.
What is this?
More than you bargained for, yeah. I'm tired of I am this week. Jon Moxley said that Cope went to sleep in 2011 and woke up in 2025 not knowing what he's gotten himself into. There's plenty of weak individuals here, and Moxley is more than willing to throw him in onto the pile. Mox said that Cope's neck is hanging on by a thread, just like Bryan Danielson's, as he put him out of his misery, along with Darby Allin. When Cope goes to the doctor and gets bad news, Moxley won't lose sleep. He doesn't have time to sleep. He doesn't have time for relics of the past when he's trying to build a future.
What the fuck? I'm telling you, there's an interesting story in here somewhere, but this is not it. What the fuck? Moxley he's a good enough talker where he always gives me half invested in anything he's talking about until I realize he's just talking. That's it. Nothing he says matches up with his actions ever. Well, last month and a half.
Feels very much 2015 Wyatt family.
There you go. God damn it, that was deep. What do you say? You're not watching. Pay attention.
It's just ramble and nonsense. But if you're over, it sounds wonderful. It sounds captivating. You're so enthralled in the story. When you're not over, it's just this rambling. He's just rambling. That's what he's
got a lot of work to do. I think you just show up on Wednesday to kill people. Like, what are you talking about? A lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do, apparently. The Hurt Syndicate got challenge for the AEW World Tag Team Championships next against Private Party, Isaiah Cassidy, and Mark Quinn. Yeah, you did not like these t-shirts.
No, that's the hat's a t-shirt. What kind of shitty high school football coach outfit is this? This stinks. Never again. Lose that. This is a Moxley pitch. Trying to dim their star power. Knock it off. Never wear that shit ever again. Good Lord.
I do love Justin Roberts giving them the intro of the Hurt Syndicate. They hurt people. They are the Hurt Syndicate. That was great. I was like, he just stopped. He did they hurt people. I was like, no, that was awesome.
That's beautiful. Thank you, sir.
Hurt Syndicate.
That's a great shot. That looks like someplace I want to be.
Absolutely. Hurt Syndicate started off on their back foot as Zay and Quinn used their speed to have the advantage early on in the early going. Lashley was having none of it, though. He mowed down both men before tagging Benjamin in. Zay and Quinn were able to connect with the silly string and a net breaker senton combo, but Benjamin got out of that move at 1. Lashley ate a cutter while on the apron as Benjamin was low bridge, allowing Zay and Quinn to try double dives, only to get caught and hit with 2 overhead belly-to-belly throws as Lashley and Benjamin just looked like absolute beasts. Benjamin sent Zay into the clutches of Lashley, who absolutely flattened him with a spine buster through the announce table. I do love how the announce table has that first impact and then it just collapses. I do love that. That shit just looks so dramatic. Back from break, it was Quinn flying slow as Isaiah was out of it. It took an advantage of Quinn for a while. Eventually, Isaiah is able to leap back in. He breaks up a big pinfall attempt. I love MVP on commentary during these matches. I think he's adding a lot. I love him talking about how Lashley has never held the tag team titles in his career, and he really wants it. MVP says he respects the fight in Zay as his champion's fighting spirit. We get "we hurt people" chants. Anytime Private Party during the second half of this matchup were on offense, you heard a smattering of boos, very loud, noticeable boos, to the fact that the louder it just made the "we hurt people" chants louder. Quinn flips out of a blocked kick into an enziguri and a double down. Zay makes the tag and hits a pop-up drop kick. Benjamin missed a dive as Zay hit a diving flatliner, and Quinn followed up with a 450 splash, only getting Private Party a 2. Lashley tagged into a huge chant. He flattened Zay with a spear, but Quinn broke up the cover. Benjamin then took Quinn to Suplex City with a couple of overhead German suplexes. Lashley hits a big spine buster, completely taking out Quinn. He then hits the big spear after Shelton hits the step-up knee. Lashley follows up with the big spear on Zay, a second one for the 1-2-3. The Hurt Syndicate is your new AEW World Tag Team Champions in an absolute probably like 90-10, 80-20 type matchup. Like the amount of offense that Private Party had was very minuscule in comparison to the Hurt Syndicate. Absolute buzzsawing through these guys. This was the right decision. The Hurt Syndicate are so over, and apparently Fightful Select reports this wasn't the original plan a few months ago, but man, Private Party, they completely dropped the ball on Private Party as AEW World Tag Team Champions. It wasn't the original plan. They did not follow up on it well at all. They had 2 mid-title defenses before they lost the titles here. They should be embarrassed because Private Party is probably one of the worst. It's probably the worst booked AEW World Tag Team Champions in company history. Saying all of that, I liked the Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley as a tag team so much. They felt like a black version of the Road Warriors meets the Steiners. Like the domination of the Road Warriors meets the offense of the Steiners with the overhead throws, the suplexes, the speed, the intensity. This is what I want from the tag team champions. And I agree with what you said earlier. Let them wipe through the tag team division.
Speaking of that, you would know better than that. Let me get the well, first, let me ask you this. When did they do those DX Jericho?
Couldn't hear you. I think you hit your mic as you tend to do.
Hear me now?
Good? Yeah, you sound different, but I hear you.
When did they do those DX Jericho RKO tag matches?
2009.
Damn, it's earlier than I thought. Okay, that's question number 1. Question number 2. Let me get a list of the tag teams in AEW right now. At least the ones that you particularly enjoy.
FTR, The Outrunners, Private Party, Top Flight, Andretti Rush, Action Andretti and Leo Rush. Trying to think of any other ones that come to mind. La Faction Inganables, but they're currently out. And then the Hounds of Hell, which is the former House of Black.
All right, and I'm gonna throw Cage and what you call it in there.
Oh yeah, Murder Machines.
Is that what they're called? I hate that. I hate that a lot. Anyway, that's 8 tag teams. We're gonna throw in the Bucks. They should be back in 8 or 9 months at the very least. That's 9 matches. That's all they should be doing. They should all be under 10 minutes, and they should beat all of them. And then we need to go to fucking DX Jericho territory, where it's Lashley and Benjamin versus fucking Ospreay and Omega versus fucking. You gotta come up with something, because this is gonna work. This is fantastic. I feel it. You can't botch this, especially if Lashley, according to some reports, rumor has it Lashley's not doing that sort of bullshit. So, hey, Lashley, you pull your weight here. I'm not losing to nobody unless they are fantastic. I'm here for it.
I do love how Bobby Lashley was celebrating with the kid in the front row. He was so happy. He was so happy he was the tag team champion.
Yeah. Come on with something. I will have them headline once we're done with this horse shit.
I mean, they should be the top faction in AEW.
Easily. And yeah, you build up another tag team in the background, and then they can finally beat them. I'm not sure who that would be. I don't particularly care about. Takeshi and somebody. Sold. Don't take much from me. Takeshi and somebody, sure. Not Cal Fletcher. Takeshi and somebody.
I think the Hounds of Hell.
Hell. Oh, I like Brody.
Brody. I think Brody he's the type of guy that I would expect to be the one to beat a team like Benjamin and Lashley.
What's the other one?
Buddy guy. He's the type of guy I would think with his physique he can keep up with those guys.
He's got fantastic taste in women, but we're not giving too much fucking credit for him.
Yeah, that's the money matchup right now with them as tag team champions to me. Like if they build it up, if they're gonna rush to it and make it like, just a random episode of Dynamite or something, and not at least a pay-per-view matchup. But yeah, this could be if they wait on it, if they don't do it like at a Revolution or something like that, like Double or Nothing or All In, this could be a big time tag team title match on pay-per-view.
Jay and Juice. Oh my God.
Oh, I would love that.
Jay and Juice.
I would love that.
Reacting to these cocksuckers being gigantic sounds fantastic.
I would love that.
I need that. To see Juice looking at Lashley and screaming and then running away. Jay's got to give him a pep talk.
Big Man Doug says it was pretty awesome to have AEW no longer have to try to hide that 80% of the venue is empty. Good camera shots this episode.
That's true. You can always tell when it's a smaller building. It's like, wow, look at this place. There's people here. It's not sides of a building. Who would have thought? I didn't know that's how buildings worked. Apparently, there's 4 sides to every building. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? I'd never seen this angle before in All Elite Wrestling. That's strange. Big Man Dogs with a good point. He says, remember when the tag titles felt like Persuado world titles? Yeah, I do remember that. But I'm hoping that, like Jimmy said,
Bucks,
Hangman, and
PR?
Kenny.
Oh, they did feel like pseudo world titles. Yeah.
And I think their run carried through for a long time, because the Bucks had a great reign in 2021, and then when they when Swerve and Keith Lee won the titles in 2022, it felt like a big accomplishment for them. And then Acclaim, it felt like a big accomplishment for them. I really feel it's the Acclaim to the Guns that started the demise of the tag title. Like, we had the little blip of FTR in 2023, FTR's great run in 2023 that made them like one of the tag teams of the year. But like, other than that, that's like the exception to the rule. It's really that pinpoint. I could pinpoint the demise of the tag team division is going from Acclaim to the Guns.
When they introduced the trios titles?
The end of the fall of 2022.
Okay. Oh, well. Everybody said it was a bad idea. Except Kenny and the Bucks, I think. I don't know.
Kenny and the Bucks was like, I don't know if this is a good one. Okay. Oh, all right. You want us? Okay, cool. We do have another super chat donation from our good brother Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for all the support this week. Send a $50 super chat donation the other day. We appreciate you, good sir, for all the support.
I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
Chuck Berry says this match was a rare case of look at us and look at them. Hurt Syndicate bullied these little guys. Yeah.
How long before that stops happening? I'm saying a month and a half.
What they stop being booked like that?
50-50 matches in a month and a half. I'm calling it.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you because you tend to be right about a lot of these things when it's your predictions.
Whatever. Here's a way to figure it out. You just figure out what the wrong move is, then remember Tony Khan's booking, and then think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Alexander said the last time the tag titles were hot was during the Swerve in Our Glory and Acclaimed feud. Yeah. No, but like I said the exception was FTR in 2023 because that's the Jay and Juice matches. That's they had some really good stuff with like Aussie Open during that time. Like they were rolling during that Collision, those first few months of Collision.
It's the best wrestling show in the last 5 years. You all didn't appreciate it, and I never let you forget it.
You never do. We got a video package on the rematch of Mariah May versus Toni Storm at Grand Slam. Excellent highlight video about their history, as it was May talking about how AEW doesn't deserve her and she can't wait to meet Toni Storm on Collision. We hear from Toni Storm backstage. She's with Renee Paquette. She says she can't wait for Saturday when she finally meets Mariah May. And then Harley Cameron interrupts and wishes her good luck. And then she says that she wished that she could wrestle in Australia as well. Storm says that there's no reason Cameron can't wrestle in Australia, as they both start machine gunning off Australian references. I literally don't know when this promo went from English to Australian, but it definitely did, because they were saying so many Australian terms that it just felt like it was a different language. Storm says that she'll see Cameron in Australia, and Paquette left baffled by all of this, but it would make sense soon enough. I like this as the start of something else that it would pay off later on.
Of course you do. That's all we care about. Good Lord. This was fine. Toni Storm looks like an adorable rookie. I will say that. I'm ready for the payoff to this angle.
I think the payoff is she wins at Grand Slam, but post-match Mariah attacks her and bloodies her, hits the Storm Zero. She's out for a few weeks, and then Luther returns and gives Mariah a letter saying she will see her at Revolution and it will be timeless. And we get timeless Toni Storm in Los Angeles, in Hollywood at Revolution.
I hated all of that. Good Lord. I'm tired of brain damage stories. Enough of this. There's only been one and we're getting it. Please stop. Please stop. What are we doing? What are we doing?
It's not a brain damage.
She literally does not remember what the fuck she just did months ago.
Amnesia. She has amnesia.
That's brain damage, sir. Good Lord. What the fuck is happening here? Why is everybody cool with this?
I did love Cactus Jack in WCW. Lost in Cleveland. Great stuff.
Has the world showed up yet? I mean, again, when was the last time for the world? Let me see. He said some host shit earlier. I didn't get into his ass about. I'm sorry. He was like, Ricky Starks can leave and say what you call with him. Fuck you, nigga.
Well, I guess it's the best time to bring up all the news from the week. Well, Ricky Starks has found himself in the news again as Ibu of Wrestle Paris during Wrestle Paris's Raw review this week revealed that Ricky Starks asked for his release last year, and Tony Khan denied him and won't give him one, and rather him basically pay him to sit at home than give him his release from his contract.
Somebody explain this logic to me. I want somebody to break it down for me. How this makes sense. We all agree it's not right. I would hope we can all agree on that at the very least.
It's not right at all.
Explain how it makes sense as an idea. People frequently say that, well, he's running a business. Blah, blah, blah. Please, how that makes sense. There's an old parable. I'm going to break it down for you earlier. Break it down for you right now, to be fair. There's an envious man and a greedy man, and they come across a fucking genie. And the genie says, I will grant one of you a wish, but the other person is going to get double. And the greedy man doesn't want to say anything because he doesn't want the other guy to get more. And the envious man doesn't say anything because he doesn't want the fucking other guy to get more. And eventually, Gene says, hurry this shit the fuck up. And then the envious man says, I want you to pluck out one of my eyes. So the other guy gets both his eyes plucked out. That's what the fuck we're doing here. I don't understand this logic. Where we're going to fuck ourselves over to fuck him over and the WWE over, I guess, except you're not going to fuck them over. Triple H has got an eye-fixing machine. This makes no sense. We kept Pentacle, and then what happened? He pressed the button because it's $1 billion whatever fuck. It's just fucking vignettes and merchandise. Just press the button and it turned this shit back on. You're not hurting Ricky. He'll just press the button and he'll be show up in NXT and fuck somebody up. This is insanity. What the fuck?
Contamino Bay is hilarious. I think that was, what was that? Was that Eric Bischoff who said that? About yeah, because
I did see the picture.
earlier in the week, it was Phoenix who posted the picture of him in an insane asylum being held captive by AEW.
Oh Jesus, that's very dramatic.
Yeah, it made fucking Baron Corbin come out and be like, "Yo, Phoenix needs to just honor his fucking contract."
I bet you think so. I would imagine so. From the couch, I'm sure you have plenty to say. Enough, Baron Corbin, you boot-looking cocksucker. No disrespect. I probably should have worded that better if I didn't want to say it disrespectfully. But you get the point. Enough. He's paying him, right? Then you should be happy. Fuck you. Enough of these people. Trying to get a job. Get the fuck out of here. He don't like you either.
The optics wise, that doesn't look good though. It just doesn't. He says it's interesting. He's seemingly not extending Malachi.
Really?
Yeah, he's letting Malachi out of his deal. Right. Optics wise, that doesn't look right. Doesn't look right that you're not willing to give it to Ricky, and you are willing to let Malachi walk.
That's not a great look.
Nope.
That's not a great look at all. I feel kind of gross. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
Especially since Malachi, I'm not gonna say we know, but I'm going to assume has tried to pull this off several times where he's got issues. All of a sudden he's got these grand issues where he needs to leave. And Tony Khan's like, no. And all of a sudden he's back in a month. Who would have thought? No disrespect. Come on, man. I don't understand this keeping somebody on the sidelines. What the fuck? Bring Ricky Stuck back to TV. Then have him lose a few people and you're done. What are you doing?
Exactly. Like, I don't understand. This does not make sense from a business perspective. Because you're not gaining anything but a bad reputation for how you treat talent.
Right? It's not like Ricky Starks is gonna he's gonna change the tide in the war and he's gonna give WWE the edge. There's no war. The war's done. Nick Khan won. I'm shocked to tell you. That's how that works. Sorry.
WWE won a war. How surprising.
Yeah, like, what are we doing? I think this shit is close. This shit ain't close. And if it was close, Ricky Stark's not gonna make a fucking difference. No. Lord. Love you, Ricky. I'm just saying.
Chiller with Jay says, if anything, it helps when they came to WWE. People want to see these people. I get not wanting to push them, but at least use them.
Right? See, that's what I'm saying. This is the thought process. Pop Drop Finish. He's got the thought process. And it's fucking wrong. WWE's already top. AEW needs all they can get. They're not getting all they can get. They're not using them. What the fuck are you talking about?
They're not. If they're not using them, that doesn't make any sense, Power Driver Finisher. That doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. If you're not going to use them, you're holding people hostage to keep them away from the other side.
If I get keeping them and then making them work for you because fucking you signed them, I'm here for it. I'm here for making Ricky work and then lose and win, then lose and then lose. Hey, but just to keep him on the sideline for what? So he doesn't beat up Lexus King? Like, seriously, knock it off. No disrespect.
Yeah, it's very petty based, very spite based than it is anything business or professional at all at this point. And then there's also the case of Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who, ironically enough, we talked about last week. So I want to thank, Wade Keller for watching us last week because it made him access AEW sources about her, and apparently the word that he got was that Britt Baker is finished. She's done being used in AEW by Tony Khan. Tony Khan has had enough of the backstage issues with Britt Baker. Britt Baker is still not very well liked by a lot of the locker room backstage, and she hasn't been used since she told Serena Deeb, when Serena Deeb came out to tease a matchup with her, that nobody cares.
I do love the I do love somebody said that's in her character, whatever, and then Britt retweeted or liked it. Come on, knock it off. That was not in character.
That was not in character.
I can't be convinced otherwise. I will say this. I'm not going to keep using metaphors throughout the whole show. But I know you remember Andrew Bynum, former Lakers center. He took a three-pointer once from top of the key, pretty fucking far away. And it's a terrible shot for him, by the way. If you're not a basketball fan, why would you take that shot? But he hit it. And the coach didn't say anything. And then a couple weeks later, he took the same shot and he missed it. And the coach is yelling at him. You can't criticize some shit when it works. I mean, when it doesn't work, and the dark criticize it when it works. You can't let Britt get away with nonsense when she's over, and then not let her with nonsense when she's not over. That's not how that fucking works. I'm sorry. I'm Team Britt on this. You can't teach me bad behavior and let me get mad at me when I act bad. I'm sorry. She's been a maniac, apparently, a menace. And you're all good with them when she was a star. Now that she's 6, 7, 8, people don't like her. And really? That start yesterday? Really? Oh, okay. Knock it the fuck off. I'm sorry. Free Britt.
Get the fuck out of here.
Free Britt. Good Lord. Yeah, she should show. That's how I would do it, by the way. She would just show up to open the show in NXT. Like they show up right up to the building, a microphone, that would cut the commercial. I don't know how to do the rest of it, but she could be fun in NXT.
Yeah, she could.
Yeah.
She could work. But I pretty much I said it on Twitter. I'll say it here. If Britt Baker didn't come to AEW, she would be JC Jane.
I don't know who that is.
Exactly. Anyway, moving on. We'll talk more about the news. You guys, if y'all want to talk about it, send a super chat donation. Show us some love in the chat that way. But of course, we had next up, Alex Marvez is backstage with Double J. Jeff Jarrett. Why do we need a backstage interview before he does an in-ring interview? That doesn't make no kind of fucking sense. You are trolling us now. This is a troll job by Tony Khan at this point. Double J gets interviewed backstage by Alex Marvez, who immediately, he was cut off by Karen Jarrett. She said Jeff getting down in the mud with MJF last week was not who he is anymore, and she didn't like it. I agree with you, Karen. I didn't like it either. Jeff cut her off and says that he's got this as his music hits, and he gave her a kiss before he went to the arena. He comes into the arena.
That's not a great look, is it? After all the shitting on women he did last week,
shut up!
I got this. Beat it.
He's like, shut up, call girl. I got this. Jeff said it's great to be back in Knoxville in the volunteer state. As he was wondering what he was going to say here tonight, he had a memory of Jerry the King Lawler. I was like, oh, that's where you got your promo from last week.
Oh, that was a great promo. A little dated, but great.
But he would call women call girls in 2025. Jerry got his ass kicked in the ring that night, and he got in some verbal jabs before heading to the back. Lawler told him, don't ever get in the gutter with his opponent. As Jarrett remembered that advice and said MJF will find out exactly who the last outlaw is. Jarrett said that they'll settle this Southern style. No lights, no camera. He's taking MJF out to the woodshed to beat his ass. Jarrett said he wants to talk about the fans, though, who inspired him to enter the Owen Hart Cup last year. They gave him the gift of a 57-year-old man could become AEW World Champion. Jarrett said that it's time to get down to business. So he's calling out Jon Moxley down to the ring. Jarrett was ready for Moxley when he was attacked from behind by Claudio Castagnoli. who said that no one gets to Moxley without going through him first. Claudio gave one piece of advice to the Last Outlaw: stay out of their business. Claudio went through the crowd to leave. As he went to leave, Jarrett recovered. Jarrett got back on the mic and said Claudio is going to have to kill him to stop him from coming after the AEW World Championship. Claudio slowly turned back around as Jarrett said if he beats Claudio next week, he gets an AEW World title shot. Claudio said beating Jarrett lifeless is an interesting proposition, and he'll see him next week. Jarrett celebrated and said that he'll see him next week. It is made official. Jeff Jarrett versus Claudio Castagnoli next week, Wednesday Night Dynamite from Huntsville, Alabama. Dear God, could they please, please. This was nowhere near as long as last week's promo, but is that all it takes to get a world title shot? This man has been Aaron Solo before this. That's the biggest star he's beaten in the past few months. And he can just beat Claudio and he gets a world title shot. All it needs is one win to get a world title shot.
Well, Moxley is calling the shots. So he can give it to who he wants to. Apparently Claudio's got his proxy. Now, if we were fucking, I'm not even going to fucking try to book this nonsense. Because you know none of it's going to happen. If we were going to make these cocksuckers interesting, Claudio obviously loses next week. Moxley should be like, who the fuck are you to sign me up for fucking anything? Then maybe have some internal beef, but that's not going to happen. He'll win, and then we'll have another match with Moxley and Jeff Jarrett. Good Lord. As long as it's on free TV, I don't think I give much of a fuck. But, yeah, this is awful.
What are you doing? This whole angle started off with Moxley versus the young guys that have become complacent in AEW. And now we just got a whole bunch of old motherfuckers.
I totally forgot that. We really forgot the plot. Jeff Jarrett, Edge. Good Lord. What do I want from this? I want this to end as fast as possible. Beat Claudio. Fair enough. You know what? I was going to say maybe wait for MJF to talk about this. But MJF's plan actually still works. I kind of hope he goes through with it.
Yeah. I honestly, when this match was made, I was like, MJF should help him beat Claudio.
Right. Yeah. And whether Jeff wants to help or not, that's not the point. The point is Jeff's an easy champion to beat. I need to help him win this fucking belt.
And then it sets up what would happen in the world title match very, very, very well, because then MJF tries to help him win the world title. Jarrett stops him because he's the noble babyface, and then that's how he loses to Moxley. That makes all the sense in the world. That would give us a different finish to a Moxley match, which we haven't gotten in a few fucking months. That's the cops coming to get the Death Riders right now for killing this show. Like, what are we doing?
Or I don't mind making everybody upset because I find it hilarious. MJF helps Jarrett win. Jarrett being a noble babyface, he's going to grant MJF a title shot because he feels he's been dishonored. And of course, Christian comes out and ruins all this. Just takes the belt. I'll take that now. Thank you. I know the guys you're battling about.
I'll take that, please.
Thanks.
Please and thank you. Appreciate you. Move on.
Beat it.
We got another super chat donation here in the chat. Thank you so much. Alexander Fitzgerald, thank you, good brother.
He wants me to work with pricks constantly. That's what it is.
Nevertheless,
I can't stop seeing the hate you're doing now. Why are you so mad? I've done nothing to be nice to you and not address any problems with anybody.
Alexander says, Bree woo, why AEW booking the Jeff Jarrett retirement tour like it's Sting? We don't care. Laugh my laughing face emoji. TK trolling us with Jarrett and the Death Rider. Like, honestly, like that's the thing. I think I called this out either on the True Hill Heat flagship podcast or here last week. I think it was Bell in the chat. It was like, oh, this is just AEW trying to do the John Cena retirement story. No, they're doing the Sting one over, but with Jeff Jarrett. Like, no, this is not the same. Like, Sting is one of the most selfless top stars in wrestling history. Jeff Jarrett has been one of the most selfish mid-carders that's been portrayed as a main eventer for years.
That's the only part I care about. I don't care about motherfuckers being selfish, but sorry, what do you want from me? It's like there's Cena and Flair in them, Austin Rock, and then down there it's like Taker and Triple H and Sting in them. And then there's another level here, and there's another level down there. Then there's fucking Jeff Jarrett down there somewhere. Why am I supposed to take this seriously?
Jeff Jarrett and Dustin Rhodes. Those are the guys that are getting the retirement tour for, and they're pushing Jarrett in the main event. Dustin's got 2 titles in Ring of Honor. It's like, yo, you could actually use these guys in like consistent, coherent stories that don't involve the main event or titles. You could tell great stories with these guys. Dustin is still a great promo. He can still handle himself and have a good matchup in the ring. You could tell good stories with him. You're just choosing to just make him fucking the belt collector of Ring of Honor. And then Jarrett, we loved Jarrett last year. Jarrett's uses last year was perfect. They elevated him. They made him a babyface, which we didn't think was possible in 2024. They made him into a babyface. He was being used as the eldest statesman. All his work with the stuff he did with Bryan in the lead up to his title match, his little mini feud with Hangman Adam Page, that was great uses of him. Why do we need more than that? Why did you say, you know what? You know who's going to be one of the guys we push more and give a lot of TV time to in 2025? Jeff Jarrett. Why did that come out of anyone's mouth?
It's his last year. He needs to be treated like the. Yeah. Well, never mind.
This was the first time in the show where I was just like, yeah, I wasn't feeling that. I was like, I need to get back into this show because I had to watch this segment twice because I think I tuned out the first time. I tuned out as soon as Jeff Jarrett came on the screen. Nope. Not gonna get me that time. Not gonna get me this time. You're not gonna get
last outlaw. We are the last outlaws. Like, Lord, what are we doing?
Alexander says Jeff Jarrett is the honky tonk man category.
Do we have a tier for like? Do you have wrestler tiers in your head, like all-time tiers, like
all-time tiers? So
Rock,
there's like
Cena.
Austin, Hogan, Rock, Cena. Yeah, those are like on
Flair?
Roman. I think Roman is Flair's in that territory. Roman is kind of in that middle ground where he's about to join that crew, but he's at the first. He's at the top of the second tier, but he's pushing to get through to that one.
Agreed. So tier 2 is Roman, Taker, Sting, and them.
No, Taker's not in there. I would say Macho Man Randy Savage. Now you're all right. I'll take my bias out of it. The Undertaker mostly because I'm still these top 2 tiers. These are the draws. These are the guys that have been draws for WWE or for WCW, wherever they've been a draw. Those are those type of guys still in those top 2 tiers. So Angle's up there. Mostly Angle was a bigger draw for TNA than he was for WWE, honestly, if you really think about it. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart.
Yeah, I would say those first 2 tiers are pretty easy for me. I don't know who starts that 3rd tier for me. I know Jeff.
Third tier, I feel like the 3rd tier would have to be like, because I feel like when you think about the current active guys, I think that Roman and Punk and Bryan are the only ones active who are in conversation for the first 2 tiers. Everybody else that is like all-time guys are in that 3rd tier trying to make their way into the top 2 tiers. Like Kenny Omega. Like Kenny Omega, your John Moxley, Seth Rollins, those type of guys.
You know what's funny? We had this conversation and you pushed back on it, but I think you just proved my point. The last couple years, Chris Jericho's run has removed him from all thoughts. He should be in one of these fucking tiers. We have not heard his name yet from you, sir.
Yeah, he's in the 3rd tier. He's back in 3rd tier.
He got dropped.
He got dropped down to pre-2008.
Yeah, my point is Jeff.
No, but Jericho, realistically, if you take away the bias or take away how much he's not been good in the past year, he's a tier 2. He's in that second tier.
Yeah,
because of his importance. His importance to AEW, what he did for New Japan, and then his latter half of his WWE run is enough for him to be in that second tier.
Yeah, Eddie and Styles would probably be a 3 for me. And then
Eddie, Styles, the guys who are great workers but weren't necessarily draws. Like, I feel like out of the guys that I named in that third tier, I feel like the person who has the best argument for tier 2 is Kenny Omega because of his importance to what AEW is, New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was a draw there, one of the greatest gaijins ever, his accomplishments there, right, in-ring wrestling. All of that, like, influential stuff he's done, I think he's a tier 2 guy.
Yeah, agreed. Like, Ray's been a pretty big draw his whole career, but I feel it's egregious.
Ray, I think is tier 2. I think Ray is
really.
Eddie.
I can't put him next to this thing
as a draw. He's a bigger draw.
He's never been the guy. He's never been kind of the guy. Top 5 guy. No disrespect.
But I just put Macho in tier 2. Macho was never the guy.
He's been higher than fucking Ray's been.
Yeah.
No disrespect, Ray. Love you, Ray.
Yeah. I had people mad at me that I didn't put Ray in my top 20 greatest WWE wrestlers of all time. I feel like him and Brock were the two that I was like, you know what? I wish I could have got those back. Tier 2, I would put Brock in tier 2.
Brock's probably tier 2 guy. Yeah, I don't know where the fuck Jeff Jarrett would be, but 6.
Jeff Jarrett is like tier 5, 4 or 5, maybe.
Yeah, because he had a big run, though, of his own volition.
His influential TNA is his biggest accomplishment.
Oh, by far. Sorry. Tier 5 is not what we're getting on TV right now. That's a tier 2 and up conversation. Sorry. Lord.
Yeah. And Sting would be tier 2.
Agreed.
Yeah. We got in the chat here. I love when we go into these all-time conversations. We've done this too many times. Goldberg, yeah, third tier, yeah.
Yeah, I know people kind of shit on him now, but people don't understand how insanely over he was. It's like,
see, this is the key, Louis. We can't put Angle in the top tier. Like, if we were just doing this, if this was based on we're ranking wrestlers on their in-ring ability, yeah, Angle's top tier. He's number 1. Yeah. He could be number 1 with a bullet to a lot of people. When we're saying we're ranking guys by their wrestling, we're doing everything. We're doing in-ring ability, drawing power, character work, mic work, presentation, everything. Their importance, their influence on the business, everything. Angle's a tier 2 guy.
Yeah, you can't put him with Rock and Flair and Austin. It just doesn't even look right.
Yeah, those are the guys that the wrestling business are. If you think wrestling, those are the guys you think of.
Yeah.
A says Roman Reigns is top tier draw. That's what I said. He's knocking at that door. It took him a decade though. I think that's the main reason why I'm like. That's the main reason why I'm like, you're knocking at the door. You're not in the club. You're knocking on the club. You're on the line to the club, but you're not in the club quite yet because it took you a decade. If it had worked for Vince, and then we got all of this after it all worked. Oh, he might be higher than Cena.
I was about to say that's damn near Cena run. It might be higher than that.
Yeah, he's higher than Cena. If it had worked with Vince, he's higher than Cena.
Yeah. Jesus, Bam Bigelow, Vader. We didn't even actually do a tier 4. I'm not even entirely sure the rest of these guys would be. Yeah, Brett's tier 2 for me.
Yeah, Brett's a tier 2 guy. We also got Bam Bigelow higher than Jeff Jarrett. No, Jeff Jarrett.
My bias. I was about to say my bias is saying sure, but I can't actually do it.
No.
Come on now.
Like we just said, like TNA is Jeff Jarrett's legacy. Is TNA a bigger legacy to have than what Bam Bam Bigelow accomplished? Bam Bam Bigelow main evented a WrestleMania, but it was against Lawrence Taylor. When that's the biggest thing that I could say about your career, it's just like, yeah, there's levels to this. I would put Bam Bam a tier below Jarrett.
Now, if you ask me who I want to watch for the rest of life, it'd be Bam Bam pretty easy. I watch Bam Bam match before I watch a fucking Jeff Jarrett match. Not that close. But Impact's not close. It's Jeff.
Yeah, it's like one of those situations with Roman where he's on the line to the club. They say, you ain't on the list, Oos. And then he answers back, yo, call the manager. Call the manager. Yo, my cousin's in there. My cousin's in there. And then he eventually probably will get it. AJ Styles tier 2.
Get tier 2? I'm going 3.
I would say tier 2, tier 3. Tier 2, tier 3. I would say tier 2, I can make the argument because of his importance to TNA, his New Japan run, and then him rising up to become a top star in WWE.
Oh, he has had a much better run, you would think. Brett, Shawn, Taker, Sting, H.
Brian,
Dragon's in there. We're doing Impact. I think Punk's got to be in there.
Punk's in there, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not mad at Styles being in there.
Yeah, I think Styles kind of belongs in there. You know, it was an interesting one. He was actually pulled from this show last night because of travel issues, because of the snowstorms and everything. Samoa Joe was supposed to be against Nick Wayne on last night's show. Where would Samoa Joe be? That's an interesting one.
Oh, he's got a great TNA run. He's got a really good AEW run. His WWE run is better than you would think, even though it came from
exactly. When you really think about it, his WWE run was probably a lot better than you would think that it was when you were when you were living through it. When you look back on it, it looks much better.
Yeah, nice little win there. I would probably.
I would say he's a fringe tier 2 guy. Fringe tier 2.
Wow.
Because of his importance to the independent boom. And all the guys who are a part of that independent boom are really in that tier 2. Styles, Brian, Punk. He's like the fourth horseman of that group.
That's a good point. So 3 is the what? Brock and Ray.
No, Brock is in tier 2. Brock's in tier 2.
How big is tier 2?
Tier 2 might be the highest. Where you're a draw, you're a great in-ring worker, but you're not quite the identifiable names in tier 1.
All right, well then Joe.
I would say Ray's tier 3 though. I agree.
Okay, well then Joe's probably 3. They'll probably the bottom of 3 with Ray at the top of 3. Warrior probably 3 to me. The run he had is in the beginning is insane.
Yeah.
Batista.
Batista's tier 3.
Okay.
Orton would be tier 3 for me.
Same with Edge.
Edge tier 3. Christian tier 3.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy tier 3. The Hardy, if you want to put the Hardys together, tier 3.
I do not.
No. Do you want to put Jeff separate?
I'll take Jeff separately. Thank you. His singles run being the most overgrounded company.
Yo, people don't understand unless you live through that. You don't understand how hot Jeff Hardy was in the late 2000s.
Silly.
He was ridiculously hot.
We're doing too much now. Swerve.
All right, yeah, it's too many questions now. All right, now RVD, yeah, RVD. I would say tier 3.
Yeah, just for the ECW run, it's insane.
Yeah. But good stuff there. We get a Megan Bain video package, highlight package, showing off her debut in the casino.
It's not a great picture. This is blasphemy. Why are you picking that picture?
The only picture I can find. Sorry. Then we get Swerve Strickland going one-on-one with AR Fox. These two men, of course, have a long history with one another. We get a fast start between the two men. They know each other extremely well. You get Strickland sending Fox to the floor where he hit a moonsault off the apron before going back inside, wanting his diving uppercut, which Fox avoided with his boots up. Ricochet was shown walking backstage with the gold scissors in his pocket as back in the ring, Strickland hit a misdirection shoulder block. Rolling suplex from Strickland, who was in control as we head to commercial break. Back from the break, we get Fox was able to hit a springboard moonsault from the ropes to the outside. As he went for a follow-up springboard inside, Strickland was able to catch him. Fireman's carry into a power slam. He then followed up with his diving uppercut to the back and then did his little walk. He went for the house call, but Ricochet ran to the apron with the scissors, attempting to stab Strickland in the head, but was unsuccessful. Prince Nana with the steel pipe chased Ricochet to the back as Fox was able to hit a pump kick in the corner and then followed up with low main pain for a near fall. He went for a top rope a 450 splash, but Strickland was able to avoid it. He hits the rolling flatliner, but is only able to get a 2. But then he's able to hit the house call, and then he follows up with the swerve stomp for the 1-2-3. Swerve Strickland picking up a win here and a pretty decent matchup against AR Fox. A show of respect from Strickland to Fox post-match until Ricochet was shown on the big screen. Ricochet says next week, everyone will be forced to hear what he has to say. He shows that he's holding his scissors up and he's holding Prince Nana hostage with the scissors at his throat. Ricochet says that there's a new landlord in town and rent is due. And he says for now, he's going to leave Nana alone because he needs him to send a message to Swerve that he has just 2 weeks as he bails, and Swerve heads to the back to see if he can check on Nana. Later on in the show, we did hear from Swerve backstage as he cuts a promo with Nana by his side. He's pacing backstage back and forth, and he screams, in 2 weeks, the lion finally gets his hands on the rodent. Maybe Strickland, though, will catch Ricochet a little sooner than that. Match was fine. It was kind of a backdrop for furthering the feud. I do love the Ricochet character, that he was bullied and now he's out for redemption, but now he's the villain in all of this. His character motivations, it makes a whole lot of sense, and I did not expect it to make this much sense. Where I can kind of see why some people would root for Ricochet in all of this if he wasn't such a fucking dweeb.
Oh yeah, match was fine. AR Fox is a rather athletic human being. And Swerve was a great wrestler, so it's going to be at least fine. The Ricochet stuff, probably my least favorite because it's the least ballsy. First of all, holding Nana hostage and then saying, I'm not going to do anything because I need you to deliver a message. You're on TV. There's a camera right in front of your fucking face. Swerve will get the message. It's not even that difficult. In fact, I think stabbing it will make a better message that you are fucking dangerous. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this. But I did love Ricochet kind of bringing home the school bully thing. We got it. We get it. Yes. You bullied me? And now look. All right. We got it. We got it already. Who watch it? Point proven.
You got it. You got it, Chief. You got it, Chief. We got Alex Powell, who, that's a good shout. He says Piper would be tier 2.
Yeah, Piper 2, Foley 2, Benoit 3. Just to prove to you guys we're not afraid of mentioning Chris Benoit. You know this already. We mention him all the time. Even when people complain about it. I don't give a fuck.
We do. Yeah. But you see, we're very honest with this, and you could tell that we're putting in all of the things because we're putting Benoit in tier 3. But then when we said the greatest in-ring workers, Benoit is in that. Like, this is how you know we're doing everything. We're doing everything included. Ospreay would be a top of tier 3 type guy who can get up to tier 2.
Take it easy. Jesus fucking
tier
Christ.
3? I'm giving him tier 3.
He's Rey Mysterio already? And Rey Mysterio been doing this for 100 years? Good Lord.
I think Rey has an argument for tier 2, but so you're putting Ospreay in tier 4?
Yeah. He's 12 years old. Good Lord. What are you doing? Come on, man. Seth is 3, by the way. I think you mentioned Seth.
No, I don't think so. I think I did. Well, I think I did. We got Alexander who says Ricochet is like that bully kid in class that takes revenge on the bully. Absolutely. He's a school shooter.
Yeah. I'm here for it. It's interesting.
It is interesting.
Gonna need some balls in this though. You had balls when he beat up Swerve. Not beat up. Stabbed in the face. Yeah, come on now. Holding Nala at gunpoint, knife point, scissors point. Come on, what are we doing? Stab his cocksucker.
Yeah. Or at least have like security be the ones that pull him away.
Oh, see, I didn't think about that. Worthless security can come through. Hey, drop it.
Drop it. Like, drop it. Drop it. I got pepper spray. Just drop it. We got highlights from last week's main event with Jon Moxley beating Powerhouse Hobbs for the AEW World Championship. We then hear from the Learning Tree after we see highlights of Hobbs going face-to-face with Big Bill on Collision and then losing the 12-man tag. The New York Minute is then shown as Chris Jericho and says, unfortunately, the Learning Tree failed last week on Collision as Big Bill did his words of wisdom, saying that this is just a setback and that we'll get stronger from this failure. But Jericho scolds him and says that learning moments only work if you learn from them. When will Bill take the knowledge Jericho has bestowed upon him? Bill thought about it and said that Hobbs won the match last week, but he didn't beat Bill. Hobbs can't beat Bill. This Saturday, Bill is coming to find Hobbs. Jericho and Brian Keefe give each other a smirk and a nod as Big Bill walks off. And then later in the show, we heard from Powerhouse Hobbs. We get the response. I like this. This was another case of setup and delivery by AEW. This was a nice little follow-up. We get him addressing what Big Bill had to say, saying that he's looking for him. And he says, I'll be waiting for you in the parking lot, which can only mean one thing. We're getting a Jacksonville Daly's Place parking lot brawl between Big Bill and Powerhouse Hobbs. But this is the key, AEW. Don't announce it this time. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. You've already did the setup. You don't need to announce it as a match. Just set it up. Don't have it be a match. Just have them brawl. And I'm guarantee you more people will be invested when they eventually have a match in the ring if you just let them have a backstage, a parking lot brawl. Don't make it a parking lot brawl match.
Hobbs should definitely be out there at the beginning of the show. And he should definitely be snatching niggas out of the cars. Only to find out it's not Big Bill just yet. All right, fair enough. I want to let me know if this sounds familiar. Wrestler has a really big moment. Black wrestler has a really big moment. Cuts a promo that everybody seems to enjoy. Has a match with the champion, and then ends up in the Chris Jericho vortex. Hint: this is not Ricky Starks we're talking about. This is Powerhouse Hobbs, who now be going through the same exact thing.
Ricky Starks. Hook.
You poor bastard. But hey, you're on TV. You're going to get a prominent spot. You're going to be the number 2 guy on Collision, apparently, next to Jericho. From Punk to Jericho. Good Lord.
This whole template of AEW booking has only worked on one person. MJF. MJF lost to Moxley at All Out 2020 and then went into the whole program with Chris Jericho that created like the Pinnacle, had the Dinner Debonair, and then eventually, MJF beats him twice, and then eventually Jericho wins the blow-off match. But he's still MJF got out of that feud as a main eventer. He was still a main event level star. No one else has been able to survive the Jericho vortex of feuding after you get a world title shot.
You've got to be one of the 2 biggest stars in the company, him and Omega, to escape the Jericho vortex. I think Kenny Omega couldn't do it without throwing his insides up. You just do what you got to do to get out. I appreciate it. Good on them. Hobbs, you're not that guy. You poor bastard. You're going to be here for a while. Enjoy. Sorry.
I'm sad. I'm sad for Hobbs. He was a good kid. Good kid. Good kid, that Hobbs. We got Tyler Schroop in the ring. He's getting ready for our next matchup when Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF, makes his way down to the ring. He tells him to get the hell out of the ring. Schroop opposes. MJF said Jeff Jarrett owes him an apology to everyone for his actions last week, especially himself. When MJF said that he helped Jarrett win the AEW World title and wanted the first shot, it wasn't because he believed in Jarrett. It was because he'd be the easiest to beat. MJF said that if Jarrett thinks that he can do it on his own, he's as senile as he looks. By the time Claudio Castagnoli is done beating his brains next week, Jarrett will realize it. MJF said pro wrestling doesn't love Jeff Jarrett anymore, neither do the fans, but sometimes you're better off making a deal with the devil instead of defying him. As he finished his promo, Hangman Adam Page makes his way down to the ring. He was supposed to be in action against Tyler Schroop. He makes his entrance, he gets into the ring, and he stares down with MJF, who telling him to get the hell out of his ring. Not wanting any trouble, MJF obliges. Hangman gets into his matchup and wastes no time hitting a big old lariat to pick up the 1-2-3. Post-match, Page wasn't done. He hits an angel's wing on Schroop in the post-match and then stood over his opponent. When the music of Christopher Daniels hits, he comes out on the stage. He looked hilarious in the neck breaks. I laughed.
Bigger than your fucking head.
Page charged up the ramp and asked if he wanted him to beat his ass again. Daniels says that he never wanted to fight him. He realized that he was just pouring gas on the fire. His ego escalated this as he regrets facing Hangman, the most violent man in the most violent match. After that last buckshot, after that last buckshot lariat to the back of his neck in the Texas Death Match, doctors have advised him never to wrestle again. Daniel says Page wins. He won the last match he'll ever wrestle. I apologize, and I just want you to know I hope you can be happy now. He walks away, says nothing else, and Page is like, when he says that I'll never wrestle again, he's like, what are you talking about? It's like Page just finally came back down to earth. His sell of what Daniel said made this whole thing worthwhile. Page was just acting. The facial expressions were just tremendous here. Contemplating the news, feeling like he's actually won a rivalry for once instead of his rivalries with Swerve and Jay White. He's won the war here, and he doesn't know how to feel because he's probably still filled with all the anger and all the stuff that he's built up inside of him over the last 2 years. He doesn't know how to take that news. He sold that so well. This was brilliant by Page here, and I like the setup with him and MJF. But it really feels, I'm gonna say this, like, really feels like we're avoiding the MJF Jeff Jarrett feud. Are they gonna go back? They're gonna have this match like on an episode of Dynamite and then go to MJF and Hangman. It feels like that promo last week nuked their plans.
It was that fucking bad.
It was that bad.
No, nothing's that bad. The Death Rise can get away with this week after week. There's no way that promo is that bad.
That is also true.
Unless it's the MJF call.
Now you know how to pivot, nigga.
Unless it's the MJF call, in which case I'm not mad at it. Get the stroke, so to speak. Used it. Get me out of this thing. This has been awful, by the way. Daniel Garcia, USA versus UK, and then it's Adam Cole for forever, and then it's Jeff Jarrett. What kind of punishment am I getting? I resigned. Why am I being punished like the rest of them? Why can't I stay home? Good Lord. This was fine. MJF feels not very motivated. I ain't gonna hold you. He doesn't seem like he really wants to be here, or at the very least doing this shit. The promo was fine. In general, for MJF, it's probably poor. I liked Hangman coming out. I liked Hangman telling MJF to get out. Only thing would have made it better is him telling Dummy to get in here while MJF was still in the ring. Hey, you, get in here. The Daniel stuff was fine. Daniel's up there is one of the dumber baby faces. Him and Wardlow together. I regret the match. Really? You 7-year-old man, you're going up against a psychopath in a Texas death match. That's not a good idea? Really? Tell me more. You fucking dope. And now it's your passive aggressive horse shit. I hope you can be happy. Sir, please keep your crippled hands off of me. And exit stage left. Good Lord. But yeah, Hangman was great. The face expression was great. I assume we're about to turn Hangman babyface again. I'm not against it. He's been a great heel. He's a great babyface.
Yeah. He's one of the rare guys that seems to make both work.
Yeah.
Which is rare. Which is rare in wrestling in general.
Oh, that's another list, but we'll keep it quiet for now.
The greatest guys to play both babyface and heel.
Austin Rock.
Hogan. Rock. You said Austin?
Yeah.
The decision in 2001 was not the right decision, but he made it.
It was not the right decision. 1996, 97. He's the greatest heel ever.
He was great. He was great. I will agree. He was great. So yeah, Austin, Rock, Hogan,
Foley.
That
probably Foley there.
Punk. Punk. I'm sorry.
We're not doxing him for this babyface run. We're not knocking Austin from 01. We're not doing Punk for fucking. It feels good to be wherever the fuck we are in this shitty ass town. We're not doing it. We're not doing that, Skip. We're not doing it. We're not having it.
He was so tight.
I'm not having it. I can't have it. You can't have it.
Bret Hart, I would put in there. That's probably the most controversial name, I'll say. Bret Hart.
Oh, Bret, Macho Man.
Macho Man, yeah.
That's it for the top tier guys, probably.
Those are the top of the top tiers right there. Batista.
Oh, Batista's up there. Sean, man, Sean, yeah. He's like, I'll be nice, yeah, Sean, yeah. I never liked Curtis babyface. He's fine, but I can't say he's a great babyface.
Yeah, I can't. I think that Kurt is much better as a heel.
Yeah, Dragon.
Ooh, yeah, Dragon's up there. Definitely. All right, come on, Alexander. We're having a serious conversation here. Stop putting in names like that. That's ridiculous. Cody, I would say Cody.
Oh, that's a fucking good one. Because heel Cody is fucking hysterical.
Heel Cody. Give me 2018 Cody. Oh my God.
That shit is so good. Good Lord. He wants to fucking start shitting on people so bad. He just can't.
Who?
You can tell. Punk. He wants to start shitting on people so badly. That Hogan thing's just a start.
I would put Drew in the second tier.
Ooh, what? Second tier?
Or second, third tier. I would put Drew was a great babyface.
He was.
He was a great babyface.
He's having an all-time run of fucking heel.
Yeah.
Jericho should probably be on this list.
Yeah. Attitude Era Jericho was a great babyface. Probably the most popular mid-card babyface of that time. And then as a heel, oh my God. That 2008 run.
Oh, it's so different from everything else he did. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. It's up there for me.
It is. Yeah, y'all now y'all just joking with us. Randy Orton, MJF. I would do New Japan. I would say like Okada. He was a great heel and a babyface. Naito, great heel and babyface. Kenny was up there in the last decade because he had his whole rise as a heel, as the leader of the Bullet Club, and then he became like the most popular guy in the company.
Does that count if your popularity is based on how good you are? Not exactly being.
It's different. It's different in New Japan. If you're too good, if you're too great and you're still a heel, you eventually are gonna go become a babyface. Except if you're Jay White. Jay White was always able to still be heel. That's what makes him an all-timer.
Jay White's gonna be on this soon too, by the way. Can't wait, babyface. Jay White's is good.
Yo, when he came out, I was hyped. I was like, I know you're not. I know you're not gonna stay tall here because they don't like that much. But the fact that you're the only one, I was like, the fact that you're the only one that did come out did put you over, though. So I'll give you that.
Booker T.
Ooh.
I love babyface Booker T in WCW.
Yes. King Booker is a great run. It's a great run. But I feel like he is stronger as a babyface.
Yeah.
If you just have one great run, but it's honestly not looked back for your great heel work, it was just you're funny. It wasn't that he was a great heel. No, he was funny.
That's true. I'm not mad at that.
No. Then we had if you thought the opening segment was the peak of the show, I won't argue with you. To me, the peak of the show, and the show went off the rails after that, or had a slow decline after, was our next segment. We see Mercedes Moné walking backstage.
Oh my God!
And a setup celebration with balloons for a win that happened weeks ago. Renee Paquette asks her, what is next for Mercedes Moné following her 4 belts win at the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Dynasty? Moné has always said she wants to be a world traveling champion and can't wait to see who steps up to face her at Grand Slam Australia. In comes Harley Cameron. She walks in with her guitar and she sings that she wants to ride the money train, the money train, the money train, and for her to feel the wrath. And she asks her for a shot at the AEW TBS Championship in Australia at Grand Slam in one of the best songs you will hear improvise on an AEW television show. Moné answers and says that she's wrestled the very best around the world, UK, Mexico, Japan. But Cameron, she's not one of the best. She hasn't even won a match on AEW TV. Not this year, not last year, not ever. So that's a no. Cameron was left dejected. The best part about this segment, or the cherry on top, was Mercedes walking to her locker room singing the song. She's like, the money train, the money train, the money. I was like, Harley Cameron. Oh my God. She has the comedic timing of mid-2000s Anna Faris with the over-the-top wackiness backstage segment vibes of a Macho Man Randy Savage. Harley
Good
Cameron,
Lord, sir. Way to jump out the fucking building. We went from she's AEW Chelsea Green to she's Anna Faris and the Macho Man. We've been jumping out the building recently. Hangman Page like a heel Mick Foley. Sir, stay inside the house. There's no need to leave the house.
No, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'll jump out all the windows for Harley
Harley is fantastic. She's not Macho Man. She's not Anna Faris.
She's the girl with the tipping point because I get a little crazy.
Oh my God. Good Lord. This is really good. This was fun to me. Harley's great. We've always said this. I'm going to say she used to be fat. I feel like she used to be fat. She had a lot of person. There's no way she didn't used to be fat. Nobody's this hot with this much personality. She definitely used to be fat. Yeah, she was great. And Mercedes came across I got an effective heel instead of cartoon caricature. Maybe it's because she's standing next to Harley, and you can't be a cartoon next to Harley. It's impossible.
You cannot be the cartoon next to Harley Cameron.
It's impossible. Try all you like. It's a failure. So yeah, this worked for me. I don't know if I want to see Mercedes and Harley Cameron wrestle, but I wouldn't mind seeing another segment or two of these two. We have some decent chemistry. I'm not going to compare them to The Rock and the Hurricane. I'm just saying that kind of idea of a star and a not star interacting with one another. Because I can't think of a worse comparison. Because you think Macho Man and Harley Cameron's a bad comparison. The Rock and Mercedes Moné is an awful one. Good Lord.
Hey, Hurricane and Harley Cameron ain't that far off, though.
That's not that far.
That's not
that far.
Not that far. We do have another super chat donation from Chillin' with Chase. Thank you so much, Chase, for the support as always.
They go on Twitter. I don't see how this is going to work. This is absolutely ridiculous, Sid.
Chillin' with Chase says, Super chat train, the super chat train, super chat train. Get on the super chat train, y'all. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God. I just had the biggest smile form over my face as this song was going on. I was like, she literally just came up with a song to challenge her.
Good Lord. That was great.
It was so good. It was so good. Louis says, Mercedes is better than Hurricane.
Yeah, Mercedes is probably a 3 tier 4 wrestler, but who's more entertaining, Hurricane 2003 or Backstage? Hurricane 2003 or Mercedes ever and anything ever? Fuck are you talking about? Knock it off. Knock it all the way off. Please and thank you.
Big Man Dog says, Jimmy at the AEW press conference when Carly wins the title, he says, you're really funny. Did you used to be fat?
I'm just saying. Like, if you lose your hearing, your eyesight gets better, right? If you lose your eyesight, your hearing is better. Like that. If you don't have, people are not just immediately attracted to you. You fucking come up with things to make that happen. Just a thought. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Just a thought.
We got another super chat donation here from Alexander Fitzgerald. Thank you so much, Alexander, for the support.
Tony Khan! This is also on you! Because you can stop this!
He says the real question is, who dethrones Mercedes?
It should have been Statlander at the last show, but it wasn't. So let's come up with another name. Could be Jamie. That'd probably be a good look.
Yeah.
Probably what I would go off the top of my fucking head. I do think it needs to happen soon. Please and thank you.
Revolution.
Oh, is that what you would do, Jamie?
Yeah. I would do Jamie. I would do Jamie at Revolution. I would not do, well, we're talking about Jamie next, so let's talk about her. Jamie Hayter was in action next, going one-on-one with Julia Hart, the second matchup between these two women after they faced that Fight for the Fallen 3 weeks ago. Hayter got the early advantage in this one. Things were taken to the outside as Hart tried to battle back, only to get sent crashing into the steel steps. Back inside, a nice missile dropkick by Hayter got a near fall as Hart again responded with a charging corner lariat. Hayter got her boot up and tried to go to the second rope, but Hart swept her legs out and pounced her on the top rope for a 2. It was all Julia during the commercial break, but Hayter was able to cut things off in the corner with a back suplex for the double down. Both slugged it out. They got to their feet. Hayter sidestepped a backdrop and hit a German that dropped Hart really awkwardly on her bad shoulder like 3 times. The third had Julia hitting her head hard on the mat, which caused her to hold on to her head. I thought she had a concussion real quick. She stumbled to her feet into a spine buster by Hayter. Hayter sank in a half crab, looking like she wanted to get a submission victory. Hart was able to get out of it and eventually manages a flying octopus hold that got a big reaction from the crowd. Hayter countered into a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Hart pulled the hair to escape and then hit a crucifix bomb for a close 2 count. She hit a sliding sledgehammer to the back of the neck. Then she opted to pose instead of going for the heart attack. So Hayter was able to capitalize. She hits the hate breaker and then a wild looking Hayter Ray taking Julia's head off. 1, 2, 3. Jamie Hayter picks up the victory here in a much better match than their first one from Fight for the Fallen. Post-match, Jamie gets on the mic. She says that she's not one to butter someone's bread, but she has a heavy respect for people like Hart, who do what they want to do, move to the beat of their own drum, but spitting crap in her face and trying to kill her with an arrow doesn't fly with her. Whether Hart has 2 big men by her side or like now she's all alone with no one beside her, Hart is still a tough bitch. She won 1, Hayter won 1. Whenever she wants it, she's up for the rubber match. I like this promo. This is a more story-driven promo than the Will Ospreay to Buddy Matthews one. I know it had the similar intent of, hey, you're on your own now. You can step up. I'm trying to put you over. But at least it played into her ending with, I got one, you got one. Tell me when you want to run up for the third round. I like that.
Yes, this is definitely the best of the bunch of the House of Black getting told that they can do it and that they are somebody. Good Lord. Shut up. Enough. It's a grown people. At least Julia's a kid, so I guess it works a little better. Like Ospreay telling Buddy Matthews, you see that fuck Rhea Ripley? Get the fuck out of my face. Not that is anyway. This was fine. Match was good. Good? Yeah, good. Julia she's getting rid of some of the ring rust. And Hayter is finding her groove, slowly but surely. You know what would help? If you dyed your hair and put on 10 pounds. But we're not gonna keep talking about that. We're gonna
Hey. I mean, certain parts of her were looking good in this matchup.
Let's say on the road, get that awful junk food. Hey, we're getting there.
Oh my god, this awful individual.
Let's go. I don't know if I want a third match. I'm sure it'll be fine, but I don't know if I need a third match. I'm good with us moving on. I think Julia is the most in need of keeping this group together at this point. Well, Buddy too, since he's literally only been involved with this ever. But
yeah, only one of them could stand on their own. It's Brody. It's just Brody.
Yeah. So this is probably best for everybody involved for the moment. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And especially if you're gonna have him be like the mouthpiece, because they said no leaders, but they're gonna make him be the mouthpiece because he's basically came up with their new catchphrase, "Bark together." So
I'm not mad at that.
I'm okay with that. That puts him over.
If we're gonna do no leaders thing, we gotta stick to the no leaders thing. Can't be leaders and have somebody be a leader.
The Speaker of the House.
I like it.
We got another super chat donation here from our good brother Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support.
You fucking mark!
Berries says, here's to your super chat goal. Just wondering, where is Stokely? That is a good question, and I've been wondering that for months.
What the? Now there might be a good reason, because as you know, every time I get on here, I harp about the lack of Dragon Lee on TV. Apparently he's got a kid. His wife's about to have a kid, so that's where he is. Boy, are we in a different world. Motherfucker has paternity leave. Vince is pretty sure Vince called him an F word if he was. But
paternity leave.
What are you, a fruit? So yeah, maybe Celtics got something going on. Maybe it's a deal. I don't want to speculate, but he's missed. He can certainly find a usage on this fucking show. We got Jeff Jarrett on his mic time. We can get something stealthy, goddammit. What the fuck?
Facts. We shall see. Thank you for the super chat donation, Chuck Berries. We then get a pre-recorded vignette of the former House of Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Julia Hart walking the streets out in the light. King says that for years they've had a voice to guide them. The voice was deafening, but now silent. Matthews said that they are done living in the shadows. Hart says that it's time to honor themselves. No leaders, no masters, no gods, just violence. And he said, and then Brody ends the promo when he says, when they bark together. That was quick, to the point. I like the introduction.
Oh my God, what the fuck is this?
What?
This look, what is this? Ew.
No, I was quick, to the point. I can sign up for Brody and Buddy being a tag team, Julia being out on her own. I just would have done this vignette before Julia's match, not after.
Before she took a loss? Yeah, I want to imagine. All this tough talk. Bitch just lost. What are you talking about? They're looking at it. I don't mind us moving away from the spooky House of Black stuff, but somebody should tell Julia, because she's not exactly fitting in here with that fucking dead cowgirl hat. I'm sorry. That mask on it. Brody always
Cheerleader Taker.
This fucking January 6th jacket he's got on. Good Lord. What is this? I'm sorry. Yuck. That's heinous.
We got our 10th and hitting our goal for Super Chat donation. Thank you so much, Laron Ford, for our 10th Super Chat donation here. Thank you so much, good sir.
You don't know shit!
Laron says, put Stokely with Private Party. I mean, you might as well pay off that story from all those months ago. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Now they lost the belts, so she come back. I told you so. See?
Yep.
What did I say?
That's a good idea. That's actually a great idea. Yeah, I like it.
Good shot, Laron.
Good shot. Good shot for sure, Laron. And thank you so much for the Super Chat donation. And then finally, we got our main event, Adam Copeland going one-on-one with Pac. We get a slower pace to start off in this one, a managed changing of ground holds and mat work until the head scissors sends Pac to the outside. Both take turns sending over the top rope to the apron until Cope swept out the legs and dropped Pac face first with a Condora onto the steps. Pac was sent crashing into the barricade as Cope slowly would break the count to keep the fight outside. Pac kicked out of the leg and slammed the side of Cope's head into the edge of the ring frame, allowing Pac to pounce, but referee Bryce had to keep him back to check on Cope. That lasted briefly as Pac hit a slingshot dive and stayed in control. Cope fought back with a John Rule dropkick that launched Pac clear across the ring. Flapjack and then a big-time sky high by Cope gave him a near fall. It took a long time for Cope to follow up as the delay allowed Pac to kick at the leg and hit a series of soul butts. But a Cope misdirect lariat turned Pac inside out. Impaler DDT connect, but Cope was slow to capitalize as the work on the neck slowed him down. He went for a spear, but Pac leapfrogged away from it. Cope lifted him up in a fireman's carry, only for Pac to turn that into a standing brutalizer. Cope was almost fading and fell into the ropes. Pac wanted a gut wrench German suplex, but he opted for a thrust kick to the back of the neck, then a pump kick to the back of the neck, and then a pounce back German suplex. Referee Bryce again checked on Cope as Pac slid in for the brutalizer, but Cope was able to fight his way out of it. He hits a spear to the back, a spear to the front, and then he finally hits a spinning TKO cutter for a 1-2-3, a different finish for Cope here. And what I thought was a good matchup. It was strong on psychology, but the fans were not very much into it at the start. They got into it by the end of the matchup, but they immediately were going to get killed if they had any energy towards the matchup with the post-match. As we see the Death Riders are backstage, and they have FTR tied up. They have Rock and Roll Express at their feet. The Claudio Castagnoli gave Ricky Morton a concerto as Moxley tells Cope to stay right there. They make their way from the crowd as Cope was surrounded. The numbers was immediately too much as Cope tried to fight, but he was beaten down by Moxley, Yuta, Castagnoli, and Pac. Switchblade Jay White music hits. He got a good pop from the crowd at least. Music hits. He takes out Yuta and Claudio down the aisle. He dispatches a Pac. He gets the better of Moxley. He looks for the Blade Runner when Yuta runs into the ring. Low blows White, avoiding what he wanted from Mox. White was beaten down as well as Moxley slapped on the Bulldog choke on Cope. Yuta and Claudio forced White to watch as Moxley screamed that he could break Cope's neck at any point. But the Death Riders opted to leave instead, leaving White and Cope laying as we close the show to no reaction from the fans. What did you think about the Cope versus Pac main event and the post-match featuring the Death Riders?
Main event was what I thought it was going to be. It was that fucking Buddy Matthews match, except not as good because Edge has one leg. It went entirely too long. Had overly protective finish. I hated absolutely all of this. I'm sorry. It is the best, worst match ever. Or the worst good match ever, whichever you prefer. It's just fine. It's a C. Your genius student came home with a C minus. How's that? That's my feelings I have about this. Pac deserves better. Poor bastard. You gotta wrestle this dry.
He had to slow down significantly.
I
liked it. I liked the match in a vacuum. It just didn't have heat at the beginning. Eventually they're so good that they got the fans into the matchup. So that's why I think it was
so
good.
It's crazy. Edge never been so good. Ever. He's certainly not now at 50 with one leg. No disrespect. Thank you, Keep Tate. They're so good. Stop it. Poor Pac. What did I say? I totally forgot shitting on Edge. I had something to say. It slipped from my mind. Fuck it. It's not been important. Oh, right. Right. I thought we all decided after the Buddy Matthews match became to an agreement that if a match is going to go this long, it to be A, fucking fantastic, B, be unpredictable, C, have high stakes, and preferably D, all of the above. This has none of the above. This is ass. I hate this. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on the post-match. These niggas have jumped every time they're on fucking TV. I didn't even know they were gonna be on TV. They got jumped before they even got there.
Exactly. I didn't even know if they were here.
Like, what are we even talking about? It's the Rock and Roll Express. When did they get here?
I was like, what? When did they get here? You didn't even do a segment to be like established that they're here.
Didn't actually I fucked them up last time? Who was that?
Couldn't like Rock and Roll Express like interrupt Moxley's promo earlier in the night to establish that they're here?
Ooh, yeah.
Why do we always do this on the show? There's like something very minute that we just change and everything makes sense. Always, we always do this. You just change one slight thing and everything else makes sense.
Which is all you could hope from this angle is that it makes sense because it's not going to be good. I'm sorry.
No.
Good Lord, I don't understand. You listen, you owe Mox. I understand this. If my guess is this is his idea, all this whole angle, because he won't stop talking about it. It's a hard reset for AEW. First of all, no, it isn't. Even if it worked, it's not a hard reset. It's not how resets work. And number two, it isn't even a hard reset. It's not a soft reset. Nothing has changed except bad main events now, bad main event angles. More importantly,
like Power Driver Finisher. Thanks for bringing this up. Like they showed Ricochet in a picture-in-picture that he was backstage making his way to the ring. When they really didn't need to because he was going to show up to try to interfere in the Swerve match, which makes sense. It doesn't make sense why you show him backstage coming to the ring, but you could have done that. Just show us Rock and Roll Express talking to RTR backstage. Could have done that. Picture in picture. Just show us them talking backstage.
And was this, I guess you guys have to tell me, I didn't notice it before the show, but do they have a habit of showing people backstage before they start walking? Because they happened with Ricochet, where he was standing still, they started walking with the cameras on him, and it happened with Mercedes. They should already be walking. Small nitpick, like, good Lord.
Or at least tell them what the NXT does, where they have that hallway, where they probably give them like a 10 count. They'd be like, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, start walking now. And then the camera goes to them, so it looks like they've been walking.
Yes, please.
Something small.
This was, that side, this whole main event thing is dead. It's been dead. I can't believe how bad this is these days. It's shocking to me. I know it failed. I didn't think it would fail this badly. Any Edge has done way more harm than good. What the fuck? I know I said add a star instead of Orange Cassidy, but I figured he had to be in that age range because that's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's the whole point of the story, ain't it? I don't know.
Yeah. 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 I
Ready?
don't know what to say. They need to pivot. They need to pivot.
Yes. Ready? Put the belt. MJF beats Jeff Jarrett at Grand Slam. Jeff Jarrett gets a title shot somehow because who cares? He can beat Moxley. I can't even say it with a straight face. Christian ends up with the. It's not the point. Christian ends up with the belt at the end of Revolution. Omega beats Christian at Double or Nothing, and we all move on from life.
I said this last week.
You did?
Yes. This is what I want. Yes.
Oh, right. Because you said Edge and Moxley going to be at Revolution.
Yeah. Edge and Moxley. Cope wins. Christian cashes in. He wins the world title. And then he holds it for 2 months and then drops it to Omega.
And then you just go with he gets his Roman wish, which he's been asking for forever. The only person in this company that deserves it. You do Omega and Ospreay and Omega
and he holds it. He holds it for over a year until All In next year.
I was about to say I'm at least having hold it past Revolution. That's why I would do the MJF match.
No, you do. He holds it until All In next year, and you do Ospreay and Omega and next year's All In Wembley Stadium.
Oh, you would? I'd have him beat Ospreay already. He'd be beating this reign. He'd beat him this year. Sorry.
I don't mind that, but I think that Ospreay's the one that ends the reign.
I guess. I'm not against that. He doesn't have a title win yet, so I'm not against that.
Yeah. And like you're not gonna have, like, Tony Khan needs to realize you're not gonna have a bigger match than Omega and Okada at All In. So just put everything into making that as big as possible.
Was All In? In Texas?
Yeah. Put the world title on Omega, make it title versus title in the main event. Winner takes all. And combine it with the Continental title. Call it a day. And then this year's Continental Classic decides who's the number one contender for Revolution.
Just so sad. Like, this is
all done.
None of this is happening.
No, it's not. That is that. That's why it's like a painful study that we're doing of coming up with better ideas than what we're gonna get.
We gotta wait for fucking Darby. And I looked this up, by the way, after we were done last week. Only 60% of people finish the climb to Mount Everest, but 2% of people die. Now, I know it does not seem like a lot of people. Every 100 people that go up this fucking mountain, 2 of them die. We're not sure Darby's. If you every 100 days you came home, your wife was fucking somebody 2 days. That's a lot of fucking. Good Lord. Darby might not come back. This is a real thing. I'm sorry. Big Man, that was hilarious.
And you know what's the crazy part? When Tony Khan gets informed, if he gets informed that Darby gets hurt or God, don't let that happen, that he dies, then he'll finally be like, I think it might be time for us to pivot. Then he'll finally be like, you know what? I think it's time to pivot now.
Absolutely. Sting comes back and wins the world title on the Darby tribute show. Because, good Lord. Love you, Darby. Please stop.
There we go. There we have
Please
it.
Stop.
We got EB who's again, and first thing I hear is Jimmy's announcing Darby's death months in advance.
He's got a 98% chance of making it. He's training. It's probable he'll be fine.
He got a 60% chance of making it. That's what you literally just told us. But
good Lord.
We have made it 100% way through AEW Dynamite this week, but let us know in the live chat as always. Final call for super chat donations. Thank you so much for all the super chats that we got today. We hit our goal. So Jimmy, will you please join me tomorrow as I do a breakdown of SRS versus Air Gold?
Jesus, hell. Don't talk about these people. Sorry, SRS, love you. No disrespect.
Yeah, I just want to hear your perspective of listening to the last 5 minutes of that.
Perspective is he's very mean, but he's right. Probably a nicer way to say that, but he's not wrong with what he's saying.
Oh man.
What are you fucking stupid? Shut the fuck up. You're the dumbest person.
You are so you never shut the fuck up. I will be doing that breakdown for the members tomorrow, so join us live for that. I'll do it live for the members tomorrow, so I'll let y'all know on social media, probably around like 4 o'clock tomorrow. So join us for that. But let us know in the live chat your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP. Out of 10, what did you give the show? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle for me and Jimmy. For the January 22nd, 2025 edition of AEW Dynamite in 3, 2, 1. Begrudgingly, thumbs up from Jimmy, thumbs up from me. Out of 10, what did you give this show, Jimmy?
Yeah, I was going back and forth between a 6.5 and a 7. I'm gonna give it a 7. Harley Cameron gets us to a 7. That's it.
Harley Cameron bumped this up to a 7.5 for me. So that seems about fair. I go 7.5. Match of the night. What was it for you?
Oh, hurting people, obviously. That's all you can do.
We hurt people. We hurt people. Somebody gotta die. I really like the main event, but I'm actually gonna give it to the match that exceeded my expectations the most. I'll give it to Hayter versus Hart 2. That was much better than their first time around. What was your MVP for the show, Jimmy?
I'm gonna go with Harley. I wanted to give it to somebody else, brothers, but I can't.
I'm gonna give it to the triple threat, the 3 blondes that I loved on this show: Omega, Ospreay, Harley. Absolutely. LVP for the show, Jimmy.
You're lucky it's not fucking Kenny Omega, this limp-dicked babyface. You just said you were never going to deal with this cocksucker after he stabbed you with fucking, what was it, a screwdriver? And then 3 minutes. 3 minutes later.
He flipped over something high. Just saying. That changes a lot. That changes a lot.
LVP, it's got to be Death Riders. Sorry, Charlie.
This is another cold one I'm giving. I'm giving it to the Death Riders and Jeff Jarrett. I think Jeff Jarrett's going to get this every week. Every week.
God
I mean,
damn.
I don't know.
Did you see that poll? They didn't mention the poll earlier about Tony Khan and Booker. I didn't see it. What happened?
Well, he lost Booker of the Year, I think, for
did he?
Wrestle Paris or something like that.
He lost it. Lost it. When did he ever have it? Smell y'all. Lord.
We got Power Driver Finisher says, I love giving TK LVP. There you go.
I mean, he deserves it. It's his fault. Fifth book of the year is crazy. You do dead last. Who else on the list? Triple H, Sean. Oh my God, TNA and them? What?
No,
God damn.
No, it's Triple H, Sean, Saray for Saray-rism, and CMLL's Booker. It was out of 5 people. It's not like it's out of everybody in wrestling. Big Man does. You got there's perspective here. You gotta.
That's even worse. You finished dead last. You finished last of everybody who was available.
Yeah,
no, you bad.
But let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, Jimmy. When they will see you again.
I think I'm gonna avoid Twitter. Trump is losing his fucking mind, and people are not taking it well. So that's makes Twitter not exactly the most fun thing in the world. At YouTube, on YouTube, at Jimmy Macram, TV shows and movies, etc.
I will be here for the members tomorrow with the breakdown. You can see me live here on the channel on Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time. The True Heel Heat flagship podcast. It will be myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and the True Jaw Josh talking everything from this week in pro wrestling, including the Ricky Starks AEW drama, the Britt Baker AEW drama, everybody else's AEW drama, it seems, as well as some more stuff for WWE going into Saturday night's main event on Saturday. So join us live for that, the flagship podcast. We'll have a review of Saturday night's main event on Sunday as well. So join us for that. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content and the best place to support us when we are not live here. And if you want to see our live stream tomorrow with the breakdown of SRS versus Air Gold, become a member. Hit the join button for just $1 a month. But until then, for Jimmy Macram, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been the AEWramble episode 182, the Omega Powers. We are signing off until next time.
The Omega Powers is crazy.